Ho, 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 ho.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope you are doing well. I know that this is a really hard time of the year for so many people, including myself. I've lost loved ones, and this time of the year is really difficult. So, that being said, I want to just start out with saying that I am going to give my opinion on a lot of things in the next few hours as we go over the latest interview that the stepfather of missing teenage Sebastian Rogers, who was last seen in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Allegedly, the mom was the last one to have seen him, and It is claimed that the stepfather was not there, but I'm going to give you my opinion and what I have learned since moving here throughout this interview. I was kind of hesitant to come on this late, but I figured, you know what, my life is very hectic and I want to discuss it, so we're going to get it done. And if anybody joins on the replay, please feel free to leave me your thoughts and comments below. I just, I feel really, really sad about the fact that Sebastian is still not found yet. According to law enforcement, we have not heard that he has been discovered. I do believe that this is a criminal investigation. I have said that from the beginning. The DA has been actively involved. There's even an interview that the DA had given. So I do think that there is a high probability that Sebastian did not run away barefoot. That's my opinion. I just want to get that out of the way. Also, we're going to say that this is definitely under fair use. This is a step parent of a missing young man that we're reviewing. So the investigators and people that are searching and things are also on this panel. I am not monetized. I have not monetized the channel yet. So hopefully it is not a big deal. But if it does get, reported and striked, I will appeal and have it, relisted, because there is no reason that I can't, give my side, considering it was alleged that I was trying to get into their back chat when I don't watch any of their channels whatsoever. Anyway, let's get on into this. Make sure you give me your questions and your commentary in the comments below. I look forward to interacting with you throughout this live stream. I want to say I've always enjoyed Truth's opinion on things. I think now he's elevated Truth. When I first saw him, when somebody had shared him in the Facebook group that I was in at the time, I thought that he was a very level-headed person that looked at things from all angles. He seemed to have a lot of empathy, which is something that I value. I do not see that very often in content creating, which is why I kind of, stayed away from a lot of the communities on YouTube, because it was very, harsh, very cold and calloused almost. And Truth seemed very smart. I misunderstood apparently that he was not law enforcement. When I was first listening, I had, for some reason, assumed that he was law enforcement, and I misunderstood that. And ever since, I had a falling out over that, because I assumed something that was not true. And so for whatever reason, I don't think he likes me whatsoever, and that's fine. But I will say that I do think that he is smart, and hopefully he, let's just listen.
Just to prove that to you, not only have I purchased one microphone, but I've actually
this shit to find answers. I want to know why people jump so quickly. You want to know what I haven't seen? I haven't.
Oh, let me just say something real quick, because I forget to say this a lot. I also want to point out something. One of the reasons that I actually was listening to him, if you notice, he doesn't have his chat on the screen. I find that people, unfortunately, most people that do show the live chat on their screen, I have noticed, I'm not saying everyone, but I have noticed over the years that usually is an indicator that they're manufacturing content. Typically, they do that because you can clone accounts, and you'll see people appear, you'll see their username and their thumbnail, and then they'll go back and be like, look, they were in my chat. They were in my chat. So that was one of the reasons I enjoyed him. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. So I was like, oh, that's a really good sign for me personally. And hello, Lisa. Hi, Captain Kangaroo. How are you?
I haven't even seen the video Clue and Cletus did. Haven't even seen it. You want to know why I haven't seen it? Because I don't fucking think it's important. I don't think it's important. I haven't seen what they've done. They can tell you they haven't sent it to me. Why? Because people keep getting caught up on shit that doesn't fucking matter.
Can't disagree there.
Now we've got wars going back and forth between creators because one creator thinks they know video more than the other. And what the fuck is that doing for Sebastian?
Nothing in 10 months.
I've tried to keep my nose out of this shit.
Dude, you started a channel.
I tried to back away from the case because it's nothing but a big pile of fucking shit. We're in a case where there's a missing 16-year-old young man who has some special needs in his life. And you got motherfucking creators doxing each other's fucking children.
Yeah, that happened
in the middle
to me.
of a missing child case.
Well, I mean, I did try to talk to him, remember? I tried talking. I asked him for his email. I tried talking to him privately, but for whatever reason, they wanted to go all, public and, I don't know. Very sad. I mean, I think he actually might not be a bad guy. But I feel like listening to this is kind of hypocritical. Just saying.
The fuck is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? We can disagree on what happened to Sebastian. That's okay. We can think other people are fucking idiots because of what they think about what happened. What the fuck is wrong with some of y'all? What makes you think what you're doing is okay? And what the fuck is wrong with some of y'all who are paying these people to do it?
Like
you're sending them money and encouraging them.
But he's been up there with them. Like, does he not? Maybe he really actually is not like good friends with Clue or something in certain people. Like maybe he really isn't, right? Maybe he just met them and maybe he's getting to his breaking point. Because was this not how I was immediately when I realized in August, as soon as they shared my video, was the same day I started to put together the pieces that they were all talking to the to the mom and to the stepdad. And when I realized they were all talking, in my opinion, and now we know for sure because you'll hear it soon, Chris comes on the panel and says he's talking to them regularly. And he said it over the past couple months. Once I realized that, I was like, oh my God, I did the same thing. I started calling everybody out because it was like, what kind of bullshit is this? There's a real kid missing. There's a real child missing. Real child missing. And Chris is going to come on soon. He's going to be coming on soon.
Send them money because they're a good creator. Send them money because they do good work. You don't send them money because you're attacking each other.
He waited a long time to do this, so that's what I don't understand.
It's fucking sad. It's fucking sad. I don't pocket watch nobody. I don't go look at what people make. But it's real obvious when I'm sitting in a chat and I'm watching people throw all kinds of money at a creator because they're dogging another creator. But then you go into a chat where they're talking about Sebastian and not all the other bullshit. And they've got 30 people in there and nobody's taking care of them at all. Why? Because they're not involved in the bullshit. If you motherfuckers really cared about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, you would be supporting the people who are actively looking for him, who are actively using their channels and their platform for positivity.
Well, we know that most of the people are not here for Sebastian. We know that because these certain creators are not, they say they're true crime, but we know that most people are watching it because they just watch these channels and they enjoy the drama and the hate bashing, right? That's what they do. So, I mean, this is how YouTube has always been. I don't know if truth is honestly more new to content. I don't know. I don't know what's real. Like when when you hear people's stories and what's made up. I don't know. I don't know what's character, what's not, but this is what they do. This is always what they do. You're never going to be able to change certain people. I don't really understand.
Before anybody gets it twisted, that goes for Clue too. That's not a dog or a death. It's an even playing field. That goes for everybody. There's no good, bad, or indifferent. Stop playing with this young man's life.
Well, I didn't monetize, which I easily could have. And I wanted to keep things from being on people's panels, right? I wasn't panel hopping. And I wasn't, right? So with the way everybody's behaved with me, they've done it with a lot of other people. How do you sit with these people and not wonder Are they really looking for Sebastian? What are they really doing? How does that not cross your mind there, my friends? Hey, Lisa. Who's in my back chat? Hang on one second. Let me see who wants to come up.
Y'all can talk all the shit you want about truth. You can talk all this shit and say anything you want to about me. Cool. But someone's got to stand up and say, this shit is bullshit. Seth, where are you at? Where are you searching? Chris and Katie, where the fuck are you at? Where are y'all searching? Mr. and Miss Bowersocks, where the fuck are y'all at? Why aren't y'all searching? Seth's mom and dad, where are y'all at? Why aren't y'all searching? Extended family members, cousins, where are y'all at?
See, now this I can't get down with because we do know Seth actually is the only one that's really been doing much. And there is a lot of people out there searching. Now, Chris, Katie, the Bowersocks, that whole side of the family, I don't think they've searched. I mean, I haven't heard anybody that has seen them searching or any search efforts or any get-togethers to go search. But I can tell you, I do know tons of people that go searching for Sebastian all the time, and they're always inviting people to come with them on Seth's side. And Seth isn't from here, but Katie's, so we're like Sebastian's step family, stepfather, they're all from here. So they have tons of people all over that can search. And there is that one guy that I tried talking to you guys about. Remember that he lives in the woods. He's a content creator. He travels. Hey, I'll bring you up in a sec. Did you get my message about your name? Can you hear me? Did you get your name's still up there. Do you want to change your name? Okay. And isn't he a family member that's searching in the woods? And he's an influencer. He says he wants to be he wants to get to 1 million subscribers. I tried introducing him to you guys, asking you about him. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying truth. I'm kind of confused. If you've spent hours upon hours upon hours, right, for the last 9 months talking about Sebastian, then I agree with you. And that's what I was trying to do. Why aren't we talking about all these people? I mean, they are out there. They are searching. I'm just saying, who are these people too, by the way? Like, who is this guy, by the way? Hello, I have you up.
Don't give me the bullshit.
Hello.
Law enforcement told you not to talk to the media because TBI came out. I mean, that's TBI. Sumner County came out and said the family would like us to say that they don't have a comment at this point. But we know that the reporters are going to do what they're going to do. So what's up with that bullshit? Whole time.
I'm only going to play about 10 more minutes of this, and then we're going to skip to 2 minutes before Chris comes on. I just want people to get a background for how, again, Chris Proudfoot hops on a whole team of people swoop in here when truth is finally what I believe, in my opinion, speaking some truth.
Yeah.
As soon as he starts speaking the truth.
Before he does that, there's some people on his panel. They started popping on, but the third one, oh my God, she started bashing, momming it up, which is you.
Oh, I know. We're going to get to that.
Yeah, which is wrong.
But we're going to get to that in a couple of minutes.
All right.
I'm just trying to play the beginning, and then we'll hop over to when Chris comes on and all that stuff.
Yep.
I'm just trying to show people, like, he was on there talking, and this happens every time. When everybody goes on to start talking about something, a team swoops in.
And so
just 1 second.
When it is for what it is.
Oh, yeah.
We can't talk to media, but you can use content creators to push your fucking narrative.
Yep.
Chris, Katie, Seth. The fuck?
See, now my problem is that even if Seth is using creators to push a narrative, which in my opinion, he is not. The reason I do not think he is because I don't have a contract with anybody. I haven't signed any NDAs. And I haven't seen a narrative being pushed from Seth's side in the same way that I see a narrative being pushed from this side. I haven't seen Seth's side spend all day on the phone with one another. I haven't seen them go from panel to panel to panel to panel with one another. But I see it with this group constantly. Have you noticed it? Oh, she might be getting a drink or something.
The fuck? Stop saying you can't talk to the media when you use creators to push your fucking narrative. And creators who are acting like Katie is some victim in all of this, she's the one who pushes some of this shit. And no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about that, do they? Call me a liar. I dare you.
Oh, they're going to do worse than that, I think.
Same way with Chris. Guaranteed. Same way with Seth. Guaranteed. If you got something to say about your son, do it your fucking self. Quit hiding. People should not want your child home more than you want your child home.
All right, let's fast forward a little bit here. And I agree with them, but I don't see this when it comes to Seth anymore as much. I really don't. It seems like he honestly has been the only one. But now let's finally speed on up to the interview. I know I was asking you a question, but I didn't hear you, so I figured maybe you went to get something to drink. Gus, click the link when you want.
Right? You're telling me you can't put it all aside over some money? And talk about the things that Seth did to you. And that, all of these horrible things. But yet y'all co-parent, you send your son to their house or to his house. You give permission for him to go live there and go to school there. But a simple GoFundMe broke y'all. Not the alleged abuse that you claim occurred before you were 18 years old, which conveniently only came out after Seth made a statement about things that happened before Sebastian was born. It was never brought to the table before then. You're telling me you look past that. You allowed your son to have a relationship with the person who abused you, allegedly, according to you. I'll stand on the 2 feet saying, you, Katie, said he did it.
And
You
the
did it.
stepmom.
Call me a liar, and I'll prove it.
Now, this is him saying he heard from Katie, yada, yada, right? Well, the stepmother put that message on Facebook saying that Seth was AP, right? Just saying. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
You want me to believe that a GoFundMe was more hurtful, harmful than any of the accusations that were made. You want me to believe that you can't get past some money in order to work to find your child.
Yeah, because you've been co-signing their BS. I'm not trying to be mean to Truth. I'm not. But he's been sitting there on the phone for months with all of them, right? So, yeah, yeah. And for the record, did Chris not say that he was the one that was asking about making a GoFundMe? Not Seth, right? Chris said it in the interview, in my opinion. He's the one that brought up the GoFundMe, and then law enforcement had said it wasn't a good idea. But Chris seemed pretty focused on money, huh? When we all thought it was Seth. Very interesting.
I'm not saying your accusations did or didn't happen. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't live your life, and I don't know your story like that. And if it did, in fact, occur to you from the bottom of my soul, from one victim to another victim of that horrendous type activity, I am sorry you had to go through that. But if you were woman enough and human enough and mother enough to put that shit aside and not ever worry that he was going to do that to your child, right? You're telling me you can't put it all aside over some money? No, that don't work for me. That don't work for me.
Finally, I want to believe this. I really do. I want to believe there's one person that actually gives a crap on this freaking platform that's been using this child's
Guys,
name.
y'all can keep telling me I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm not. I'm not.
Oh, and I'm not talking bad about
I
other
promise.
channels, okay? That's not what I'm doing right now. I'm just saying a lot of people have been making a lot of money off of Sebastian this entire time, and they are very, very, very careful with their opinions, and you know what I mean. Everybody seems very team oriented, so it would be nice if somebody could just speak without an NDA and without a contract. Just saying, because I don't know anybody that's not in contract and doesn't have an NDA. I'm just honest to goodness. That's the truth. That is the truth. And I know that because it's very easy to figure it out when you're a content creator and when you reside in an area where the child went missing. It's not hard to figure it out. Just putting it out there.
You, I'm not. After this live, I assure you there are going to be people that are very angry at me. I'm okay with it.
Woohoo. Same here.
I'm
I
okay
didn't
with
care.
it. Because the fuck shit has to stop. Crimson, it didn't happen in public. It happened on a phone call. I'm telling y'all, I have no reason to fucking lie to y'all. What the fuck do I gain from it?
Oh, they don't care.
All people have been doing is lying to y'all.
Yes, they have. Don't you remember that? And don't you remember, how you asked everybody to call freaking Ellie on me? 2,000 people in the chat instead of just talking to me by email and having a quick call, which you spent hours on the phone with everybody else. You listened to all the crazy manufactured nonsense, and he probably will. He'll probably do the same thing to me tomorrow because, who the heck knows? He might be related to somebody or best friends with somebody. I don't know. But I just, I'm not understanding how it's December 20th and now we're finally getting here, but I'm for it. I'm for it if you're speaking the truth and you're not going to flip flop. I'm here for it. I'll support you.
They've been lying to y'all. Both sides have been lying to y'all. Both fucking sides.
To an extent, I agree. Not as bad as your side, though. Not as bad, in my opinion. Not even close.
Maybe it's the medicine talking. Maybe I'll blame it on me having pneumonia right now.
Let's see. When does Clue finally get on? I know, no offense, but I just realized very early on, Clue's always there. She came to Queen Bee. She came everywhere, and she would come in and she would, plant some seeds and act like she was in the know. And my sources. Okay. But these are strangers to you, Cluminati, that you didn't know, and I'm the psycho. But you've been living, breathing strangers' kids missing case for 9-10 months, and I'm the wackadoo. Okay, just asking, like, who's who, what is real, what is fake? I don't know. Just strange behavior.
I want y'all to know something. There's nobody in here denying what I'm saying. I think some people need to start talking some truths. I think that people need to start getting real with themselves.
Oh, the money might dry up. But truth, the views, the clicks, the money.
Y'all care about this young man.
They don't care. They want the money.
Why aren't y'all out here talking?
They don't care.
You don't mind using creators to talk for you? Why aren't you talking for yourself?
Well, Seth does talk for himself. So, Chris, Katie, Bower Sox, I don't know. Where are you guys? I mean, we know that you don't mind talking about Sebastian and showing his most personal, intimate details and talking crap about him, in my opinion. That's not cool. That's not right. If he's out there somewhere, can you imagine if Sebastian is okay and he really is out there gallivanting around? Or say he is with the guy, the alleged family member that travels around the woods. Say he is with him, right? Allegedly, in my opinion. This is hypotheticals. How would he feel? Would he want to come back if everybody knows about, his physical challenges, of his writing, of his stories, of things that happened recently in his personal life? if, the rumors about what happened in school the week before and things like that. I mean, why as a mom would you ever, ever, ever want to embarrass your child or take a chance on him not coming home to you? I can't understand that. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. They have a sign outside their house. It's crooked. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, allegedly, in my opinion. I think it was in front of their house. It was the only sign on that road that's on the missing flyer. And it was crooked. Yeah.
I'm just speaking my mind. You don't have to believe a word I'm saying. That's fine. It doesn't do me good or bad one way or the other, whether you believe what I'm saying.
Oh, here comes Clue. Okay.
But I had to get
Let's
you disagree with. Is there anything that I've said that you would disagree with or you'd like to say otherwise too?
The only one thing that gets me is when we talk about them being able to like co-parent, right? And then the GoFundMe breaks them up, right? I do have to at some point give credit to at least Chris because he, went to the vigil, tried to.
He did.
And then the next day it was right back to, he didn't attack Chris the next day. He only attacked Katie, right?
What do you mean he tried?
I mean, Katie wasn't there with Chris trying to mend a fence. You know what I mean? It was just Chris. But I think he probably was, speaking for her, saying, like, you keep attacking me and her and whatever. But I don't know.
Queen, do I need to drop another here? I'll drop it again for you. It may have gone up too far.
There they all come.
Psychosis, in my opinion.
Holding the team.
And I will say this, in my opinion, and I probably am going to stand alone on this, and that's fine. But I get saying that Seth is out here doing things. He's trying. But today, there is an association with a pastor of a church.
Right.
Where, again, someone who is completely effing innocent could be being brought into a suspicion for nothing.
And literally you care nothing about that? I don't believe she cares about that. Again, these people have had no problem running me into the ground. Me, with all I have on my plate, and everybody that knows me, with all the good I try to do, with all I try to do for others, and all I have to deal with my own children, they didn't mind trying to run me into the ground, calling me a psycho in a couple minutes, asking chat to call TBI over 2,000 people just because I didn't, I still haven't gotten any answers for why they did that. I still don't have any idea other than, was it Chris? Did Chris say, uh-oh, we want her gone. She's not in contract with anybody. And I think she might be a little smart and maybe she doesn't believe any of the horse shit. Was that it? I mean, I really don't know. But I am going to tell you, I have to tell you, Clue, we're going to just, let's just take a little peeky at something really quick, okay? That Cluminati did, because I want to get this out of the way so that I can have my friend, a good friend, come on up and give her opinion. See, she's been on the other side watching this. She has the ability to watch a lot of the content that I am unable to watch. I don't watch the channels that don't bring any information. I do hop into channels sometimes. I'll say hello. I try to be as kind as I can. You will see me sometimes, as you know, when it's not me, because cloning has been going on. And I think I have a good opinion on where that started and why. Chris Proudfoot, it's weird to me, my friend. He's not my friend. Why am I saying my friend? You know why I'm saying my friend? Because we say it all the time with Haley now in the therapy. But I wanted you to see something that I found to be disturbing. And one of the reasons that I find this really hypocritical, but, I don't understand how everybody could support this. So this is okay to talk like this and to do things like this. And Clue's fine with it. She's fine with behaving like this. We're going to watch a video that she did. Okay. And what she said really quick. Hey, Lisa, I'm just going to pull this up real quick and then we can go back to the interview. But I just wanted to show everybody, how I found, this is just one of many things that I found that Clue has said that I found very, very disturbing, because it turns out she's so close to the family. And I can't understand how Katie, Chris, or anybody could be comfortable with somebody talking like this when their child is missing.
To get me like out of the house because I'm just like, I like home. But Beyonce was like kind of pushing, like, I mean, if anything, we can just go murdering and look around. And I'm like, fine. Because I really did want to see, like, I've been asking the question online, right? Are there not billboards and stuff, well, little yard signs and stuff in Clarksville, right? Because you live here. Every person, because you keep telling people, right? Put out flyers, put out, bring awareness, da 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 da. And so it has been a question for me in my mind as to whether or not that has been done where you live. You know what I mean?
Notice how she says murdering when she's out. It's Sebastian's vigil, by the way, in August. And she's looking for signs in Clarksville.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, her neighborhood only has one crooked sign outside her friend's house. Did you hear what she said, the murdering
in
word?
my opinion, why would you even say that?
Oh,
Yeah,
she says it
I heard
other
it.
2 times.
You don't say that. If you're looking for someone like that, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You
wait
don't
till you
say
hear the
stuff
next
like that. That's bizarre. That's kind of stupid to say that, in my opinion.
Well, wait, she says it another 2 times. Listen to the way she phrases it.
And there's just not. Like, it's really crazy to me. It's disappointing for sure, but I just don't know why. Like,
waiting on that last car.
I mean,
That's why I'm trying to tell you, wait, because you took.
Oh, there was another one coming behind me. Oh, well,
the last bike in that car came around us so that they could get back in the line because they were part of the ride.
Well, if someone would have let me murder the right way and put my flashes on.
So she's cutting now the title to this, right? So people looking for Sebastian's vigil, it was on the news. It was on the local news and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They want to look it up. This is what they're pulling up when they're doing a search because of her hashtags and her titles. And then she says she's murdering while she's cutting into the usual traffic.
That's pathetic. That's just not common sense. You would not even say that.
Oh, we have the winner. The winner. The last time she uses it is coming up.
I don't know if they're like looking for.
And she's the one that's sitting there in court with the stepdad
Whatever.
and Katie.
Road captain, that's the word I'm looking for. Hellfire.
What? 100. Go straight.
Yeah.
Lucky.
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so Beyonce and I decided to do a little murdering today. Y'all know that's what we call spying, okay?
So here we are. We're on our way out, allegedly, right? We're going to Sebastian's vigil, the
What did she
motorcycle
say?
ride.
Murdering day, we call spying.
Yeah, listen.
That is the most dumbest thing
And I mean,
you can
it's
ever
beautiful out, y'all. Beyonce and I decided to do a little murdering today. Y'all know that's what we call spying, okay?
And Chris and everybody's comfortable with that kind of talk. That's okay. And by the way, Missy, yes, there are signs in Clarksville, and I have showed videos myself of when I've seen the signs for Sebastian. And when I go over through Hendersonville to different appointments, I also drove through the street that was on Sebastian's flyer, and there's only one sign in that neighborhood, even though there's a lot of new houses, and the sign was crooked. We're going to ban them because everybody knows I wasn't trying to get on their panel. Now we're going to go back to truth. Let's see. Everybody knows
Missy
they're
RN was
making it
banned.
up. That's what they do. You know it. They do that. People that have no talent and have a lot to hide and all they can do is go off a drama, just make stuff up. Because when it's truthful, you live stream it, you video it, you don't make it up.
Missy was banned.
Yeah, I had to ban her because she's a clone. She's pretending that I was trying to get on the panel when you know there's no way I was trying to get on the panel. I don't watch any of this.
Nope, you weren't even there. And I
I always
verify
deny.
that.
And how many
I was
panels did
there.
I deny going on? I didn't go on any panels.
Nope.
That's
Nope,
what got
I was
everybody so
there.
triggered.
You weren't even in the chat. And I hate to tell you, Missy RN, I am an observer. And I watch every channel. Anything that comes on that I'm not a subscriber, I watch what goes on. So be careful what you do. All of you. And that's a warning.
Yeah, and you know how to click on people's name to make sure it's actually their channel.
Exactly.
And so does everybody else. I know that they know, and they do it on purpose, and it's disgusting.
Oh yeah, they clone channels. They have all these channels that make up, channels. They'll have one main channel, and they'll make up more and more and more. So they, that's the way they are. It's disgusting.
And cloning the names of people,
to
like they'll
attack
clone
others for your beliefs. Well, it's disgusting. They need to grow up, get away.
It is disgusting, and the fact that the missing child's parents are co-signing this crap is just unbelievably disturbing to me.
You have a child that's missing.
They don't act like it.
No, they don't. And I see.
I mean, who would ever be okay?
After watching how, I'm gonna call him Edgar, like everybody else does, comes on that channel. What's it? The Trust channel, whatever his name is.
The one we're watching, Elevated Truth podcast.
No,
used to be Truth, Not Feelings. Then he deleted and restarted a new channel.
Yeah. But, Chris comes on and he acts all mellow, like he's all that in a bag of chicks. What I call Edgar. Edgar, like everybody else calls him. But he's gone on many channels and he's been so explosive, so vulgar, and he wants to come on and portray something else. And these people.
Oh, yeah, well, we're going to hear him in a minute when he comes on.
I sat there and watched in the chat. I made one comment, and this person in the chat went crazy because I said the word liar about.
Well, we know, but that's the thing. He did lie. He lied about the belt. He said he did it once. Then he told a different story. I mean, we know that there's been a lot of different stories, like outright lies.
Exactly. There's the truth that's out there, but they're too lazy to do the work. They're too lazy to do the research. They believe they listen to one side instead of looking at everything and going through things. They don't. Why?
People that are here for Sebastian.
It's about Sebastian.
Because a lot of these channels.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I'm just saying you got to remember a lot of these channels are not about Sebastian or any missing people or true crime.
No, they're about to click some views and making some money off this child. You have a father real father that's out there crying every day. And that's credibility, has shown all his stuff. And you know what? There's people who spoke out about Edgar from his previous jobs that spoke up about him that have been interviewed. And I'm not going to get into details because I watch and I know where to get my stuff and my information. And I'm not a liar. If anybody wants
the thing is,
bring it on, baby.
And it doesn't matter if we like somebody or we don't. Somebody's character and what they portray doesn't mean anything. What matters is the reality of Sebastian Rogers missing. Exactly. He's missing. He's missing.
Where is he?
Exactly. And when everybody tries to talk about the very reality of, like, you know, what about the influencer in the woods that you guys don't want to mention?
Yeah.
What about that? That was weird. I'll play that in a little while. How the guy made a Joker video, and then Chris Proudfoot made his own a month to the day saying, if you know, you know. That was odd.
Yeah, you have to connect the dots, and people can't connect the dots, which I agree. You know, I can agree to disagree, but some people don't like to think outside the box. They don't like to look outside the box. They just want to draw, stay focused on one thing, but you have to connect the dots. You have to look at everything in order to connect those dots.
It's just so sad to me that this
Just
is
my
happening.
opinion.
I guess for me, it's just shocking that this is happening in real life, in a missing children's case, that the manufacturing of content could actually get to this level. I really didn't think that people would partake in that. I didn't.
This is the same thing that happened in that poor little girl's Summers case, Summer Wells. That's why it's never been solved. Too many people just ruined everything. You know,
the next thing you know, we're going to have people actually faking kidnappings and getting away with the M word. That's what's going to happen if this kind of stuff isn't stopped. If YouTube doesn't crack down and stop the money making crap.
They aren't going to. And that's my opinion.
And I said it on my live.
We could talk about this privately, but they have cracked down and taken off a lot of other ones over the years.
Okay.
I mean, the only reason I think a lot of this is still going is because it's an active investigation, but I can't really disclose too much on here, but we could talk privately.
Yeah.
But let's get back into this because we got a lot to go.
All right. Let's go.
And with fair use, you got to stop every so often. And
yeah.
Like, if I were in this situation and the person that I fathered, the person that fathered my child was doing all of this, I mean, I would be furious. I would literally be furious. This, like, what if this preacher isn't involved? I'm going to go on a limb and assume he's not. But what are you doing? Not because it doesn't just stop at the preacher, right? It goes to the entire congregation, the entire community of people who go here literally to their sanctuary to worship. You are putting a stigma on for what?
And in my opinion, I mean, I wouldn't doubt if she's the one that's giving this information. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, just like the picture of Katie at church. I mean, there's just too many things that come from Camp Clue, in my opinion. You know, it just seems very sketchy to me. Everything she's saying is all Seth is doing this, but really, I mean, the girls out there cutting in and out of an ongoing vigil for Sebastian, using the word murdering. Are you flipping kidding me right now? And you're gonna, like, how can you be this hypocritical? Like, I can't rationalize you. I don't know if you're a decent person or like if you really are this kind of a monster. I really don't know.
I agree.
So I get the whole perception that he's out here doing things, but
but it didn't. OG Erica, it didn't come from Betty. Betty might have been the one to put it out, but the actual picture didn't come from Betty. I mean, even I was invited to go to the church. Music City Mama goes to church there. She came and was talking to me, and I thought that she was interested because I was moving here and, you know, trying to figure out the best places for the autism services. But Music City Mama talks to Chris and Clue and sends them texts and meets up and stuff. And allegedly she said that to me. I mean, I don't know if she told me the truth. And then she went to the vigil and she had the vigil where Clue was talking about the murdering as a joke and stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. It just seems odd that, you know, you have one person saying they're the one taking photos, they're the one doing certain things. And then you hear when I'm listening to people, they're saying something else. It's kind of hard for me to know what's true and what's not true. And at the end of the day, even if it's manufacturing content, you can at least do it with Sebastian's best interest at heart. You don't have to go after people and try to sabotage their lives for no reason. It's not helping Sebastian.
I am going to consider the things that his team is doing. Because let me tell you, I've also heard about this same team having talks about planting evidence on my fucking property. I didn't know who Sebastian was before he went missing. How the fuck are you going to try to make me look like I'm guilty of a goddamn thing? Where the fuck does that even come from, bro?
Well, I can tell you where it comes from. I can tell you what some of the locals have told me when I've met them. And everybody knows when I go out, I'll have Sebastian on my tote bag. I got his missing on the tote bag. You can buy the sweatshirts. You can buy t-shirts. You can put the flyers on your car. You can get magnets, all kinds of things for Sebastian you can buy to help raise awareness and get his face out there. What I can tell you is a lot of people find it highly suspicious and concerning that if you did not know Chris or Katie, the same thing with Crabtree, right? If you did not know Chris and Katie, how did you become so heavily involved and obsessed with Sebastian's disappearance, where you were immediately out there driving around in the middle of the night, walking around with night vision goggles on, going over and having dinner, sending them gifts and flowers, on the phone all the time, doing live stream after live stream when you did not know Sebastian and you don't know Chris or Katie. It is odd, clue. You can talk about me and everybody else, but I had a real reason to be interested in Sebastian. He was a missing autistic child. I have a child that's autistic. Lots of times we are seeing children that elope and they run for water. Horrible things end up happening. And I was moving here. I was interested in seeing, did they find Sebastian? Was he okay? Because that's the way it was coming across, was the autism. Then a lot of stuff started in about him having similar characteristics of my son. I've done a lot to keep that off the live stream. I know you really wanted me to keep it on because it was good content and I didn't fall for it back then, but we're going to pretend I'm still a psycho. So if you want the honest opinion of average people, because there are 7 million people in Tennessee, over 300 million people in America, it is very odd for a child to go missing and the stepdad and the mom, right? Professionals with friends, family, great connections. They're pretty well off financially, very educated, resources at their fingertips, to go to people that are strangers that don't even work, right? You've admitted you stay home, you don't work, and have hardly any following on YouTube because your channels were very small. Even now, they're only, 15, 20,000 subscribers? So to the average person, this whole thing seems very strange. And a lot of people are saying and speculating that allegedly, in their opinion, they would not be surprised if everybody is involved in covering up what happened to Sebastian at this point, because the behaviors are not normal. We can have these conversations in the echo chamber of our YouTube channel, but to the average person, the ones that are going to be sitting there, as their jurors, people like that, something's not adding up. It's not normal. It's weird. It's very, very odd. I'm just going to tell the truth. Just saying. Just saying.
I think at the end
You
of the
look
day,
like a nut job. Just saying. Or
the
you look
tit for tat
suspicious.
bullshit. I cannot sit and honestly say that the tit for tat bullshit has not most likely contributed to some level the fact that we are no closer today than we were 10 months ago.
I agree.
Running bear. That is absolutely untrue. They were not told by law enforcement not to speak to media. Go back to the original Sumner County Sheriff's Department release, where they specifically said the Proudfoot family has asked not to be, they don't have a comment at this time. However, we know that y'all as media outlets are going to do what y'all are going to do. Now, does that sound like law enforcement backing that up, or does that sound like go do what you're going to do?
Tell Queen I'm
Exactly. Law enforcement never told them not to talk to media. I'm just saying that didn't happen. Let's be realistic about that. And Chris Proudfoot also said that he went to YouTube because they knew somebody that was a YouTuber that recommended and suggested it. I'm sure you well are aware that that's all being investigated. I mean, obviously, law enforcement has known from the beginning that there was a connection with YouTube and content creators and that they were investigating, right? I mean, they've had the CIA involved to run everything on Facebook, right? Haven't they done that? Like where they're paying attention to all that stuff. Captain Kangaroo, Lisa, you guys are always welcome to come back up. OG Erica, you're always welcome to come back up.
going to email her.
Queen, she's going to.
Or come up.
Oh, yeah, you can fucking hear me, my Queen, I'm emailing the link.
Right? So this is what I want people to understand by what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Katie is guilty of anything. I'm not saying Chris is guilty of anything. I'm not saying that Seth is guilty of anything. But I'm so tired of this one-sided bullshit where y'all are making out Chris and Katie to be these just quiet, they're not doing anything, when they're causing just as much shit in the background by giving information to creators and having creators go push it. What's the difference in them doing that and Seth doing that with his team?
I don't know.
There's no difference.
We should all get along. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's weird.
And there's no secret. The people that talk to Chris and Katie on a personal level, if you will, have been very clear and said, you are suspect to us, me. We are not friends. Some of y'all don't seem to understand that. Include
No, we don't.
for this. We have had that conversation. I have had that conversation with Chris.
No, we don't understand it. And you know why the average person doesn't understand it? Because it's weird. It's weird. Why, if you guys honestly don't know them, do you want to be talking to them? Now, maybe Truth honestly isn't talking to them in a weird way, right? Maybe he's not trying to be their best friend. I don't know. But why would they want to waste time talking to you? These are the people that didn't want the news to show their house on TV. They didn't want the media, right? They didn't want their lives. They were very private. Why would they want to get Sebastian's story out through you, Truth? No offense, but you started a channel over Sebastian's case. I mean, and you guys are upset and saying that we're all wackadoos, those of us that are not in contract, that do not have NDAs, that are asking these questions because it's suspicious as all heck the way that they're behaving. It's weird. And sadly, it's made you guys look really odd, and it's not very becoming of you guys. It makes it look like you guys are in cahoots with something that might not be good. That's just the rumors. That's the speculation. That's where it's coming from.
And Katie, and told them both that they were just as guilty as anybody else, and they weren't getting a free pass in my book. Right or wrong, Clue?
Correct. I mean,
Thank
right.
you.
Sorry.
So for anybody who thinks
You're
that I'm over
scary
here,
right now.
huh?
You're scary right now.
I'm just aggravated, yo, because it's like every day I come on here, there are some creators on here that I really like. Queen's somebody I like to watch. I watch Betty, even though she drives me insane. I watch Dolly. I watch Clue. I watch a number of Granny's watching. I watch even Nonsense is Nonsense. I watch a lot of people that I think are good fucking creators, but we may not look at things the same way on this case, right? And I'm so tired of coming on to watch those creators that I like constantly talk about hatred and anger in each other. When y'all are really fucking good at doing what y'all do, you don't have to keep doing this bullshit. This isn't a hate towards anybody. This is some of you creators are fucking amazing at what y'all do, but that's not what y'all are doing right now. I was a fan.
But is this what they do on a regular basis? Like, are there a lot of other things that they've done before? Because I really, really did. I liked Queen Bee. She was the only one I watched. Ikdamel shared her a couple of years ago, and I watched her every now and then. And for whatever reason, she asked me to come on the panel that day, so I did out of respect for her. I never had gone on before. And She threw me to the wolves and believed the hoopla when she knows more than anybody what manufacturing content and stuff is. And what I want to know is who gave them an order to do that, because I know the truth. I know I didn't do any of this nonsense.
What they do, they try to switch it up on other channels to make themselves look good. They will throw anybody under the bus.
That's what I'm saying. Who did? Was it Chris? Was it Kathy? Was it Katie? Who was the one?
They could all be in cahoots. Inquirer minds want to know, but they won't come out and say it. Maybe they are.
That's what I don't. I mean, I honestly, I have a hard time believing. I have a hard time believing. What?
I said they probably are. It's just my opinion. It's obvious if you sitting there watching them and you study things, you can see it from all angles. And nobody.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is it Chris that sent Clue after me? Because it went on before they did it on the panel. I mean, she was going around saying stuff about me.
Period. Just the way he like day and night. His demeanor. He's like day and night. He's been on many channels, and I've seen him. And he can say whatever he wants. How he disrespects women. How he behaves. This man has been married how many times? 5. And he didn't want any kids from the beginning. It's the truth. And he wants to act like he's all that in a bag of tits, Mr. Macho. And everybody's like having his side and his back. If you aren't looking and seeing his behavior on other channels, there's definitely something wrong with you.
Oh, I know. I know. Well, let's see, when is he going to come on the panel?
And a follower, a subscriber, whatever you want to call it, well before.
What?
Katie, she doesn't say anything. She got to abide by Mr. CP.
Oh, I see, and I don't think so. In the beginning, when I didn't know that Chris and Katie were talking to all these creators all the time, I did think so. I thought maybe she was a DV victim, and somebody took Sebastian. She didn't know. Now I don't know. Now I'm starting to be suspicious.
I watched her interviews. I watched both of them. You have to look at their faces, their demeanor, their behavior, and you have to sit back, because I seen another interview and you heard somebody in the background telling them what to say. Shit, the honest. I've heard things, and they can deny it all they want, and he can play little games and stuff. He knows what happened, and he talks about other cases and stuff. He's gone on channels and said that, and he can deny it. You know what? I don't have time for games. You know what? You know where this kid is. Your whole family knows where he is. It's time to stop. Their arrest needs to be made. It's time for all these creators to stand up for a child that is missing and say enough is enough. Go look at all the other channels and see what's going on that they've been on.
I think it's very obvious that law enforcement is wrapping up and arrests are coming. That's my personal opinion. I really believe it. I do. Absolutely. I mean, look what the stepmother was coming out saying. And I think that's why we're seeing what we're about to see with Chris coming on. I think it's because they do know that people do not believe it. It doesn't matter how much they try to fit in this little echo chamber. They can't contain the story and the reality. They can't.
What bothers me the most, who calls the bio dad and says,
it was you, MK Ultra? Sorry, hold on 1 second, Scorpion. That was you that was trying to get on their back chat? I couldn't help but laugh when somebody sent me the clip. Scorpion Queen sent it to me, and a couple other people sent it to me. And finally, I had a chance to go listen. And I was like, these people all darn well know who's in the back chat. You can all see the back chat. So you're going to tell me that every single one of you, including Chris Proudfoot, you're going to sit there and lie and say I was trying to get on the channel? And they did it twice. So I'm going to be calling tomorrow and finding out legally what I can do about it.
You're wrong. She
So
wasn't
I'm
that.
going to find out because I do live here and I am concerned with how I've been targeted for no reason by these creators. I have done nothing to these people but ask questions the same way they do. So I'm going to go find out. Going to ask, I'm not afraid. Don't get me wrong. My head's on a swivel. I know my self-defense. I believe in Jesus. I'm good. But they like to drag me into things. So maybe I need to go call their bluff.
They're sickos. They got something to hide. What you got to hide?
Who is telling them to bring me into their bullshit when I'm not in their contracts and I'm not in their NDAs? Is it Chris that's telling you to try to continue to chase me out of here? I mean, that's what I want to know. They're not going to randomly come after me when I was a subscriber and a follower of Queen Bee. I had no problem. I liked her. I didn't watch everything she did. I listened to the discussions on the trending cases, but I never had a problem with them. Granny's watching. I hardly ever even stumbled on. No offense. Never watched her. Maybe 2 seconds I watched her one time. I don't even honestly know.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get to the bottom. When there's an active investigation for a real missing child that's international, that people are trying to find him, why would you guys all sit there with the stepdad, Chris Proudfoot, sitting there on a panel? You guys will hear it, pretending that I'm trying to get on this show. Because you all know you're full of shit. You all know who was there. You can see your chat. You can see it.
Now, these people are so naive that you can screenshot somebody's avatar and pretend to be you. It's
They've
been
done
done.
it to me and everybody. Exactly. MK Ultra. No, they literally said it was me. They literally said it was me several times.
I suppose that would screenshot my viewers and pretend to be them, and they would show their body parts on panel. So I said, I had enough. If you ain't willing to show your face, you ain't coming up on the panel. Show your face. If you show your body parts, that's where you're not allowed up. It's disgusting.
Yeah, well, they were saying it was me flat out, and I'll play it in a second. They said it was me flat out several times.
I know you are. Well,
they said
if they claim it was you, why didn't they bring you up the panel?
I will show you in a minute, but let's get back to this real quick because we got a lot to go. But you'll hear them flat out accuse me, and the reason that I got annoyed is because other channels are reviewing this, and other channels are going to be like, oh, why would she do that? Why would she be over there doing that? They know what they're doing, but I want to know why they're doing it in a real life missing kids case when I am nothing. I am nothing to any of these people. Nothing.
Or I ever had a channel.
Is
and I
she
also
still in
haven't
here?
been able
Is
to
Queen
smoke.
still in here?
I don't know. I still haven't been able to smoke weed in 3 days, so that's probably half the problem.
No shit. You don't fucking say. These motherfuckers are in this chat literally saying you need some THC before they 5150 your ass.
I mean, you say what you want to because people just don't want the truth. The truth doesn't fit the narrative that people are pushing.
I do agree with that, right? I do wholeheartedly, fucking completely agree with that shit. And it's really a eye-opening thing to spend time on the ground doing shit, come out and put out what you found, and see it just people lose their goddamn mind over it. And it's like, it was never intended to cause anybody to lose anybody's mind over, right? But then you step back and look at that and go, wow. And it's like, you cannot fucking talk about this case without talking about it in a way that fits somebody's fucking narrative. Otherwise, it's either not heard or it's fucking scrutinized to death. The shit cannot just be what it is. There is a 16-year-old child missing, and a lot of people want him found.
True. Renee Lemberg, how do you know that to be a fact? You mind answering that for me?
Did he just say Betty was a good creator?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that Betty has good abilities. I think that she's misguided in this case, and I think she's been misguided in the way that she's done things. But I do believe that at her core, she is good at researching. It doesn't mean that I'm going to support her, but I have a respect for any creator who's going to step out and just be themselves. Right? It doesn't mean I have to like them. It doesn't mean we got to be friends, but I can show mutual respect. That's all. Let me go through this real quick, guys. Thank y'all for being patient. Mama's a cat. Thank you for becoming a member of the Elevated Truth podcast.
All right, when does
It's just.
all right? So now they brought Queen Bee on. I can't believe she's getting herself wrapped up in this. I really didn't think she was into all this. I thought that she was against all this, walked away from all this type of stuff. I'm in such shock when I see her pop up in this. Like, I truly, well, you know, Gus. And Gus warned me. He's like, a lot of these channels, I don't, he warned me. He warned me. Oh, here we go. Now we got the whole crew. Now you got the grannies watching. So these are all people that admitted to talking to Chris. Okay, so then I guess we would call them Chris's team, right? So when does Chris come on here? Let's see what they're saying right before Chris comes on. Oh, no, this lady had a cam slip. Does she know she had a cam slip? Who's this woman? She had a cam slip.
The lady what was going on. The lady said, sure, no problem. And Heather sent stuff over to pick them up. And so
I hope she never pisses them off. They'll have her photo everywhere. If she doesn't want it everywhere, warning, you have a cam slip.
was saying, and he kept saying, I've been driving around with a bag of clothes in my car for over a week, and they still haven't come to get them. But they were outgrown clothes. Yeah. I mean, apparently, allegedly. I don't know. Seems to connect.
Here's the thing, though, right? I think everybody
Hey,
can
Becca.
agree, even if that's true, they have nothing to do with
Team Rico.
and where he's at, because
Look, if I have to pick a team, okay, I will say for the record, if I have to pick a team, I'm still waiting for my pay. I would like my contract. I would like my NDA. Okay, just saying. It would definitely be Dog and Nick the Hat, because you know what? They know how to get Sebastian's name out there. They know how to get people to talk about his case and actually look for him. And I can get behind that. If you are manufacturing anything in the right way to bring attention and awareness, and it's not harming people, then I would definitely be okay with it. Now, I don't know everything that they've done. I am really busy. I honestly do not have time to keep up on all this. I have such love and thankful. Like, I'm so grateful for Scorpion Queen and Captain Kangaroo and all of you that are able to keep me in the loop on stuff that's relevant, because you don't pay attention to the irrelevant stuff either. But that would be what I would have to do. I'd have to go with their team. I'm all about putting an end to this kind of crap, because you should make money. You should be able to do what you want to do, but there has to be a limit. And this is too much for me. This is way too much. It's been too much. This is really like icky. Okay. We've crossed a line of like yuck. There's yuckiness to this, you know, something yuck.
obviously they wasn't on him. You know what I mean? That's the thing that I've sort of realized over the past couple of days, and it comes back around and hits me every once in a while, is that 99% of the stuff out here
Who is this?
has absolutely nothing to do.
Who is? I will go and take this out later, though. Like, if this person really doesn't want to be seen, but I'm asking an honest question. Like, I honestly don't know who that lady is. Like, who is this woman? Does anybody know? I've heard a lot about that person, Sinner, too. I still got to check his channel out. Like, I legit, don't know a lot of these people.
Truly with the case. It's all a bunch of narrative stuff. And it's just like, when you really look at it and try to pick apart what's narrative and what's fact, there's that actually exist that matter. And that's why I say, like, I don't know. I've since the beginning, I've kind of been in question of, is social media really the place for a missing person case?
Are you freaking kidding me, Cletus? Oh my God. Is he really saying this right now? 90% of the crap out here, you and your Cluminati clueless like Talaya Latte are the ones that started. You guys started a lot of the rumors and the speculations, and the videos are also on your channel. We all know that the stuff that's on here is not facts. It's not helping the case. That's the point. So you're literally you're literally calling out what you have done. Like, do you hear yourself? Do these people really? Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm trying to rationalize something irrational because this is manufactured content. I have to remember that.
No. Thank you, Body, for not making me be the only one up here.
Absolutely, it's not. I've never covered
Bimbo.
a missing child ever.
Did she just say bimbo? Just called her bimbo. That was funny, MK. I needed a laugh. Her name's Bobby? Can we just talk about that really quick before Chris is on? This is what I'm talking about. You have people that have no following. They are not known.
Wait.
Those are the people you want telling your child's story. What about Duty Ron, Michelle After Dark, Grizzly True Crime?
Far. You got the second person, chick that came up. To go to the third chick with the third circle. She has a crown. It's in purple. This is where she brings you up into it. That's what
I thought it was Granny's watching that said that I was a psycho trying to get on the panel.
No, it's her.
Well, we'll see. We'll see in a second. Let's see.
All right.
I'll be shocked, to be honest with you, if it's Queen Bee that's trying to pretend I was there. I don't think she would do that, to be honest. But we'll see.
No, you'll see the name under.
You've never seen me? Oh, I'm not seeing you. This is what I look like. I just.
If I may, really quick, because of the super sticker, let me clarify. I don't know if it was actually 2 weeks. I don't know the actual time frame of it. I just know it was after. And I would have to go back and listen to Seth and find out the time frame he was saying. I mean, I have a bag of clothes sitting in my fucking car to figure out the time frame.
So hold on. Did Katie confirm those were Sebastian's pants to you? True.
Not me. I never spoken to Katie.
So
I've never spoken to either of them.
Who did she confirm? When were those confirmed? Those were his pants.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Who did she say those were his pants to? You? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if she said it on a live stream or if she said it to you. I was trying to figure out what live stream she said that on.
No, listen. And once again, that's not even a negative. But the idea that Chris and Katie aren't pushing heat on Seth is a lie. Right? Just because they're not out here actively doing it doesn't mean that they're not planting seeds to go after Seth. How the fuck do you think people found out about the alleged incidents that happened with Katie before the age of 18? You know, like it's things like that.
Well, hold on. I think that to be fair, came from she had 2 abortions before he was born.
Right.
No, Clue started talking about it first.
No, that came from Seth though.
Well, hold on, but
Go ahead,
Cletus. We found the screenshot. It's in the live stream. It's in Dolly's live stream where Seth said it. Let me go grab the live stream.
Yeah, but Clue and Cletus were talking about it first. Just like Clue and Cletus said they had dinner with friends and they were talking about Chris and Katie being swingers way before in the beginning. It's all still up. You guys could all go fact check.
April 17th.
Or the screenshot, I mean.
April 17th.
I know that happened, right?
Okay.
But what I'm saying is the story about that, right after the fact, the specifics, so to speak, where'd they come from?
Well, I mean, I'm not like just all I remember is everyone like doing the math, right? When he was like had 2 abortions. Well, I mean, you said yourself you have to wait 6 months. Remember that? And
There's
it's
some
like
time, yeah, for sure.
You were like, so if that is the case, obviously she was under 18.
Well, we don't know if they were after Sebastian was born, though.
I'm going to jump down because
let's
I'm
be
not
fair.
going to catch the fall for all of this. I'm not doing it. I'm already taking a for everything because you got assholes in the chat that can't clean their ears. So Katie told Granny personally they were.
No. First of all, hold on, Granny, don't get down.
But this is what it's been. I get the heat for everything, right? I'm the one in a fucking
right.
Hold
on.
And I'm the least one connected. So I'm
hold
jump
on.
down. You guys
hold on. Don't go anywhere, Granny.
She's not the least one connected. She said herself she talks to Chris. And then somebody sent me a clip when she was on Queen Bee's panel during the court case where Chris told her what was going on at court. So no, you're pretty heavily connected, Granny. And I know you're heavily connected because I wasn't a fan of yours. I didn't watch you. I never had problems with you. Never talked about you. Didn't know you. No offense to you. Nothing about you. But you sure don't like me, and you sure came for me.
I know. Hold on. I'll deal with it. Moderators, if anybody is being rude to Granny, X them out. This is not about Granny. This is not about Queen. This is not about me. This is about a real conversation. And if you're in the chat here to just stir shit, I don't give a fuck what your problem is with Granny, myself.
Oh, please.
Age.
No shit.
That's what Trevor Lee says back in response. But I was told Sebastian is the name of the never-ending storybook.
And Kathy P just said what I couldn't remember the other half of it, but Kathy P just filled it in. She said that is how he named Sebastian after the two kids that would have been Wayne and Drake is where he got his name from. The name
But all
from.
of this was told on Granny's Watching by Trevor, was it not? It didn't come out of anybody's mouth. It came out of you guys. You guys started it, just like with everything, and you manipulate and you change the subject so that truth gets off the truth and whatever. Let's, like, how much longer before Chris comes on? I can't,
she had.
these people annoy me. I'm
Name
sorry.
him if it hadn't occurred. You know what I mean?
Oh, is that where that came from? I thought it was, oh, okay. So yeah, because I just was like, well, in Seth's defense, maybe it happened after Sebastian. So I didn't realize that.
If I'm not mistaken, that's what Trevor Lee said that Sean told him.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So Trevor Lee said that's what was told to him. And when Seth was yelling at Trevor Lee on the panel, that's my son. I named him. Trevor Lee responded back. You can barely hear him, but he said that's because she was underage.
No shit.
That's what Trevor Lee says back in response. But I was told Sebastian is the name of the Never Ending Storybook movie. That's the name of the little boy. Katie always loved that name. Wayne is the Steph's father's name or something, and Drake is a baby dragon. So I've been told that story about previous baby. Although they were never named, is what I've been told.
Right, and I've heard the same about the names as well. Wayne being the namesake for the father, and Drake being a dragon.
That's also what I understood, that it was the dragon and the father. I never heard anything about previous children.
Well,
So when we see things like Katie had, private medical procedures that women are entitled to have done, you can assume that it happened after Sebastian, right?
Right.
Those private medical procedures that women are allowed to have weren't necessarily before Sebastian, right?
And here we go. We're bringing
we're
pretending that we're not, right? Do you notice how they're bringing it up again to make Seth out to be a P word? Are we all catching on to this? And Sebastian is still missing, but we really care about Sebastian so very much.
Defense, right? Let's incest defense.
If what he says was told to him, it would have to be before, or he couldn't name the kid after. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
It wouldn't work that way. So that's why people assume or drew the conclusion that she was underage.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and did you ever think that maybe Seth was doing what a lot of people do, including what you all have talked about doing, and telling different stories to different people to see who is networking with who's a plant and who's not, because there shouldn't be any of that when a real kid is friggin' missing? Did you ever think maybe he planted that, if he said it at all? I'm just curious.
But here's the thing, and as a man, this is a conversation that angers me greatly. My mother was.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. MK Ultra, that's what I can't it's on. Isn't this really shocking? And I know it's not. I know that people have done this for years. I know that they love this. I know they love the hate bashing, and they'll pretend to hate each other. I know how it goes. Believe me, I get it. But in this situation, when Sebastian is a real missing teenager, he's actually a legit missing teenager, it's not like a fake, whatever distraction. That I can't understand. This goes too far. This is too far. This is yucky. What are you people doing here? What is going on? And them as regular people, if they're comfortable with Chris and Katie, people that they say they didn't know, talking to them all the time, becoming buddy with them all the time, while Sebastian is missing, and focusing on the character of his father, that's just weird. Who gives a shit? Seth could be the worst person in the entire world. Nobody should care. I don't care what people say about me. And if my kid was missing, I would give a shit less what anybody had to say about me. Call me everything that you want to call me, as long as you're looking for my child. I don't care. I could care less. Find my kid.
Very young. She was 12 years old when she had my brother, 14 when she had me. And then I went into state custody. But I understand horrible things happening.
I was an orphan for a while. My husband's adopted. It can be hard. Life can be hard. Let's see.
Of working together. I also get at this point we're seeing probably years of.
My fat ass was sitting in my.
Oh, where does Chris come on? When does he get triggered and come on? Sorry, I'm trying to fast forward. Like, no offense, I don't want to listen to all of them. What triggered Chris to hop on the panel? Let's see.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna bring Chris up. So here we go.
Oh, okay. So now
Hi.
he's okay. Let's see what triggered him. Let's go back.
And they look for Wi-Fi, like they look for hotspots. A burner wouldn't be a hotspot. That would be a geofencing thing, and they would have found it though.
That's
Like
what I'm saying.
this cell phone doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
You know, but if it has history of being there, like if he had a burner in his room, you know, maybe he turned it on like every other day, then it might not red flag. It really depends.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, it really depends.
I dropped a link.
Yeah, I don't think that's Chris. I think you can all kind of relax a little bit there.
Oh wait,
Well,
what's going on?
If it
Chat's
is
going
Chris,
wild.
just show me your face when you come into the back chat, and I'll bring you up.
Yeah, I was texting you and I was about to tell you to check your damn phone.
Oh, okay.
Now you're checking it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
on my
here we
phone
go.
and the
Here we go. Now this is what I've caught on to when Chris went on Clean Bees and everything. Notice, and the same thing when he called into the show after the old lady was saying she saw Sebastian in the supermarket. Clue is the one to bring him up. She's the one to go back and forth and fill him in on what's going on. See, she said, I just texted you. Somebody wants to come up.
Yeah, it really depends.
I dropped a link.
Yeah, I don't think that's Chris. I think you can all kind of relax a little bit there.
Oh wait,
Well,
what's going on?
If it
Chat's
is
going
Chris,
wild.
just show me your face when you come into the back chat, and I'll bring you up.
Yeah, I was texting you and I was about to tell you to check your damn phone.
Oh, okay.
Now you're checking it.
Yeah.
Now, see how excited she gets and happy she gets? Okay, all right. I'm sorry. This is just absolutely freaking nuts. Absolutely nuts. Clue. Like, are you really this big of a monster of a human being? Like, this is this real life, or is she playing? Like, is she undercover? I don't understand. What is going on?
I'm on my phone and the chat is going by so fast, I can't even read it.
It's because they're all freaking out. Like, oh my God, Chris! Like, drop me a fucking link. You said the
Oh,
chat's enough
well,
for
I'm not going to
comment.
be spoken to like that, so I will get down if that's the
It's-
No,
case.
you're not.
It's not. I don't even think it's him. It's a troll.
Your device isn't connected, Chris. No, I don't want y'all to get down. I want y'all to stay up here respectfully, ladies. No, I'm not trying to put anybody in a position, but I respect each and every one of y'all that are up here, and I want you to stand your ground. You know what I mean? And nobody's going to be disrespectful, because if anybody is disrespectful, I'll just kick them off the panel. I hope that everybody is willing to have a respectful conversation. Chris, for some reason, it's showing that you're not connected, bro. You might want to go out and come back in.
Oh, geez.
I think it's a troll.
So what were they talking
It's
about?
not.
They were talking about
I would think.
they were talking about Bluetooth burner phones.
I thought you guys were talking about during the missing time frame, like let's say 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
That's what I thought too.
That changes everything.
No,
that
no,
was
see, I
probably
don't
just
know.
something else.
Yeah, that's why I made the point to say there is no time. Right? Like, I
if
don't
that
know.
was the time frame, then the police would definitely have
Yeah, like
more suspicion. You would think, right?
Yeah, because we got a problem living here if they didn't act on it. You know what I mean?
For sure. No, that's what I'm saying. That was my, once again, fair is fair, right? If we're going to bring something, you got to put it all out there. You can't just put half of it. Fair is fair. It was the 25th, 26th, under my understanding. So it could have been the entire day, right? That's just what it is, but it still makes it odd, right? It also tells me, and not odd, I'll take that back. It adds a little bit to it, but it also tells me that law enforcement checked that area for any signal, which means that Sebastian could not have communicated with anybody, even from another device, because it would have shown up on what the car team was doing.
No, because you said that they looked for they looked for Wi-Fi, like they
Right.
looked.
Oh, okay. So what triggered Chris was they were talking about the time frame that Sebastian went missing and checking what phones and stuff were connected to the Wi-Fi and everything. Because remember that rumor was put out that all the cameras and everything were all jammed, and that ended up not being true. So from what I have heard from neighbors there that have come up to me, because as I always say, I never go up to anybody whatsoever. But if you're wearing Sebastian's t-shirt, sweatshirt, if you have, one of the totes with his missing flyer, have you seen me? People will come up and talk to you, especially in his area of where he lived. And supposedly there was nothing wrong. There was no jamming of the signals. All the houses did not go out. and lose their camera signals and stuff. But that was put out, remember? So that's what they're talking about. That's what triggered Chris. MK Ultra, that is hilarious that you were the one trying to get up there. And if I was trying to get up there, I would have owned it. I have no reason not to. But the thing is, I have never tried to make a name off of Sebastian in this case. They all did. They sure made channels. Truth made too. He made a comeback. No offense, you know. And it's just funny to me that somehow I keep getting brought into this, and I don't believe that it's Clue, Queen Bee, Truth, or even Granny's watching. They have nothing, no reason. I'm a nothing to them. They need people that are going to manufacture and bring in, you know, excitement and stuff. So I have a really nauseating feeling that if it is true, the rumors I've heard that it's Chris and stuff, that's a problem. That's not normal. Because if you go back to why I'm involved, why I pay attention, why I've involved myself, it's because I'm moving here. And the weird stuff that was going on Facebook, because I have an autistic child, 2 autistic children, one that was resembling Sebastian in his younger years. Very weird, very weird. All right, so now we can go back to Chris. I just wanted to see what triggered Chris to come up. You still with us, Scorpion?
Yep, I'm still here.
All right, so now we got Chris. He's finally on.
Yeah.
Oh, she just said, I'm psycho,
That's
LMFAO. Yeah,
good.
you psycho.
Yeah, that's Chris. Tell them to let him.
And they immediately bring me up as soon as Chris gets there. Immediately.
I told you that.
Oh, they've already told it, Becca. They've already told.
I'm not even subscribed to that channel. I told you I ran into it.
They already told everybody, Becca, where I was moving. They put my kids' channel out there.
That's
after
disgusting.
telling me to take.
Wow.
Oh yeah, after telling me to take my kids off of the channel because I have a family channel, but I didn't have it connected when I was in chat over here.
It wasn't connected. Why the hell you know what? That's kind of stalking. Really stalking. That's kind of sick.
That's what I've been saying, though. And unfortunately, it looks to me, in my opinion, it seems like Chris is the one that's been doing it. And that is weird. Because listen, he comes up on the panel.
I know how he is. He's Mr. Macho in power. He pays people off.
It's weird.
Yeah, that's why he got thrown out of the service. He got a dishonorable discharge. Wonder why.
In your opinion. Don't forget alleged in your opinion.
In my opinion, alleged, he was thrown out. In my
Becca,
opinion.
the whole thing is insane. It makes
Yeah,
zero
we gotta
sense.
abide by YouTube, crab tube stuff, and it's getting annoying. Got cow
Right, so
down.
this is when they first bring me up.
All right. Yeah.
For as soon as Chris gets up there, as soon as he gets up there. Why, Chrissy poo poo? Is it because I actually really do give a shit about Sebastian and I'm not out there under any NDA and contract, that I actually care, that I love my children that are disabled, that I love children of all abilities, and I don't think that they deserve to be punished and disciplined in the manner in which you guys think that it's okay to treat a disabled child. And now you're upset because people are coming up and asking about Sebastian. People are talking about him again. Are you upset because Momming It Up is in town, buddy? Is that what bothers you? Does that bother you? Does it trigger you? Because I know it's got to be something to do with you guys. And I can't understand if your child's missing. Why aren't you in the woods? Why aren't you out there asking Esme if you can go out with him in the woods and find Sebastian? Go look for him. Go out there and go find him. Why would you care about me? Why wouldn't you be thanking me, if anything? Wouldn't you be thanking me? So what one of you is so triggered that you have to tell everybody to call TBI on me last time, and now this time I'm a psycho trying to get on a panel when you all know that's not true. This is about Sebastian. The first time you've talked about him, the holidays are here. He just turned 16 years old. Your mama is posting photos about buying property in another country, and you come on and the first thing in your mind is momming it up? Something's really wrong with all of you. You need to start talking. You need to start talking. Because I think a lot of you do have a heart, even though you want to pretend you don't. And I don't think you guys are all this bad. And I really hope that you could seriously think long and hard about the very real reality that Sebastian Rogers is a real child. He is not a monster. He isn't a fiction novel. He isn't a story. He isn't a P word. His dad isn't a bad person that did something to him. This kid is missing. In my opinion, allegedly. Get your shit together, people. Come on.
Hey,
Not connected, bro. You might want to go out and come back in.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I want to respond to this person. Lost Mother 1. Lost Mother Hero of 1. Like, I'm not slandering anybody.
No, you said in your opinion. Don't feed them, please. Don't feed them.
Your opinion.
Lost Mother 1.
It's not.
In her
It's like
opinion,
mine,
and allegedly.
It's just alleged. Here's
Now, maybe you want to go over and tell Clue not to call searching for Sebastian murdering, okay? Why don't you do the same over there?
Yeah, please.
I can tell you it's not.
I don't know, Becca. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense.
So it won't even let it says they will need to connect their mic cam before you can add them to the stream, Chris.
So you probably have to give permission, right? Like you know how like it's like please give permission to your camera and mic.
Makes absolutely no sense. The only thing I did was try to look at everything and everyone and talked about the other influencer. That's the only thing I did. I mean, it's very
that goes crazy.
It's true.
And here we are. We're 10 months.
Here we go.
Speak of my truck being in that vicinity, that area, until the 26th.
Stream, Chris.
Okay, now remember, they were talking about the Wi-Fi and the time frame. Okay, that's all they said. That's all they were just talking about. We went back and listened. That triggered Chris. Chris was texting back and forth with Clue, and now Chris is up here.
So you probably have to give permission, right? Like you know how like it's like please give permission to your camera and mic.
Yeah,
He's been on panels before.
I know.
Yeah, as I say, I'm here. I'm listening. I was cooking dinner, so I was listening to you guys as you were talking. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just kind of taking it all in. To be honest with you, who was trying to come up?
All right, I'm about to
How
bring.
you gonna wait 20 minutes? How did I say that 20 minutes ago? Come on, if Queen's still even here, she can come in. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. Somebody just asked in the chat, large Marge or something. Am I still here? Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Right.
you answered me.
So-
I was like, I asked that shit 20 minutes ago. What is you talking
All
about?
right, guys. So I'm gonna bring Chris up. So here we go.
All right.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Hey, Chris, what's up, man?
What's going on? I want to know what's this talk that somebody on this panel is saying that I told you that my truck was in that neighborhood the night Sebastian went missing or the night before.
That's not what was said. What was said was you said that your truck's Wi-Fi was in the cart when the cart team did their thing from on the 25th or the 26th. And I also restated that it could have very well been when you came home after Sebastian went missing.
So that would have to been the 26th when I got to my house.
That's
around
what
1 in the
we
afternoon.
said.
That's what we said.
Chris. That's exactly what we said.
Yeah, I said it has to have been when he was coming home from the work site.
That's
So
what was said.
my truck wasn't in the area, the vicinity. The FBI knows this. So don't speak of my truck being in that vicinity, that area, until the 26th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
That's what we said.
Well, not the time frame, but
Wait a minute. What did he just say? The FBI knows this, so don't. Okay, so he's not calling the shots? Wait a minute. We're going to listen to that again. If the FBI knows this, then why aren't they clearing you?
And I also restated that it could have very well been when you came home after Sebastian went missing.
So that would have to been the 26th when I got to my house.
That's
around
what
1
that's
in
what,
the
that's
afternoon.
what we said.
That's what we said.
Chris. That's exactly what we said.
Yeah, I said it has to have been when he was coming home from the work site.
That's
So
what was said.
my truck wasn't in the area, the vicinity. The FBI knows this. So don't speak of my truck being in that vicinity, that area, until the 26th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
That's what we said.
well, not the time frame, but
Not the
Well,
time
now
frame.
you know
We
the
didn't know the
time frame.
time. But what we said was that they did it for the 25th and the 26th. So it's just as much likely that it was when he came in after Sebastian went missing.
Yeah, and that's why I was confused because I was like, what? And then that's why I said it had to have been when he came home.
Well, see, the
Or,
problem
you know,
is you get a bunch of people out here. You say one thing, you mean one thing.
You know, he's talking riddles. Isn't this the way he talked about the lie detector? That's the only reason I'm being annoying about this. Like, I want to hear the way he says it one more time, because remember how he answered about the lie detector and then he changed it? And the same thing he did to Josh from the lab when he was talking about how the CPS reports and the active reports. And he's like, well, I didn't say that specifically. I feel like he's doing that again with his wording. It's odd.
Chris. That's exactly what we said.
yeah,
And that I told you that my
Or something. Am I still here? Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Right.
you answered me.
So-
I was like, I asked that shit 20 minutes ago. What is you talking
All
about?
right, guys. So I'm going to bring Chris up. So here we go.
All right.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Hey, Chris, what's up, man?
What's going on? I want to know what's this talk that somebody on this panel is saying that I told you that my truck was in that neighborhood the night Sebastian went missing or the night before.
That's not what was said. What was said was you said that your truck's Wi-Fi was in the cart when the cart team did their thing from on the 25th or the 26th. And I also restated that it could have very well been when you came home after Sebastian went missing.
So that would have to been the 26th when I got to my house.
That's
around
what, that's
1
what,
in the
that's what we said.
That's what we said.
Chris. That's exactly what we said.
Yeah, I said it has to have been when he was coming home from the work site.
That's what was said.
My truck wasn't in the area, the vicinity. The FBI knows this. So don't speak of my truck being in that vicinity, that area, until the 26th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
That's what we said.
Well, not the time frame, but
Not the time frame. We didn't know the time. But what we said was that they did it for the 25th and the 26th. So it's just as much likely that it was when he came in after Sebastian went missing.
Yeah, and that's why I was confused because I was like, what?
So he can tell them not to speak about stuff, but what about Seth when Coffin Daffer is saying that his job verified he was at work? I don't know. This is strange. I just think this is okay. Wow. Maybe not your truck. Was it something else? Or was it the truck at a different time? This is really bizarre. This is very weird. Very weird talking. How mad he got and how he comes in.
Brush fire. That goes crazy.
it's true.
And here we are. We're 10 months into this. We got no leads. We got nothing. But yet we got another team over here that's out here just throwing shade left and right and a bunch of crap.
And I don't believe that. They like to keep saying over and over, there's no leads, there's nothing. He's not law enforcement. He's not FBI, CIA. He's nobody. He does not know what they have and what they don't have, because if he did know, he would know they do have stuff. And even Craddock, did he not just clarify that they do have stuff? There's a $50,000 reward for your stepson. Obviously, they have stuff. They don't even have $15,000 rewards for some of the most wanted. You should be excited. You sound mad at the thought of them having anything. This is odd.
That's what we're talking about. We think it's very dangerous. People are being thrown under the bus and nobody seems to fucking care.
Who's in the back chat?
I have no idea. Hold on.
Is
I
that
noticed.
Psycho? Under Chris's name too.
Yeah.
Proudfoot.
I see it in the back chat. Yeah.
So who is this person?
I do. That's the person that's attached to that woman that accused you, Clue, of having something
I have
to do
no
with
idea who it is, to be honest with you.
What the hell's her name again? She was making those anti-Seth videos, and out of nowhere.
I'll zoom in on his glasses and see what he sees in his glasses, because if you notice, Truth is not co-signing that it's me. Truth knows darn well that it's not me, and I'm not in the back chat. He knows that. It wasn't me. I'm not in the back chat. MK, you're saying you tried to get in the back chat. So I don't know. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about that I don't understand. This stuff doesn't make sense to me.
Where she went nuts on us, remember?
Oh, momming it up.
You talking about momming it up?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy bitch.
That's her man in the back right now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, she just
Okay.
said, I'm psycho, LMFAO.
They all know it's not me. They can all see the same screen. Do people not, like, are people really this stupid? I mean, please tell me people are not this stupid. This is like, oh, God. You guys need help. You need help. You really need help. Because you know what? You're getting me to a point where I'm going to make content again. And I didn't want to do content on the back of a missing child. I really didn't want to do that. But I think I'm going to have to go back to doing my investigative journalism and manufacturing my own type of content and showing you how it's done where you can make the big bucks. Okay? And maybe then you won't be so hateful. So join me in the new year and I will launch a new channel and I will show you how you could really get clicks and views, and then you won't have to be so jealous of somebody like me that doesn't need to grift off of a missing child. Because I could have joined you. You were all sharing my videos, right? Trying to get me to fall in line, trying to get me to kiss your asses.
Yeah, but you psycho as fuck.
Says Chris, tell them to let MK Ultra in.
And you need a bitch.
Well,
It ain't my show to control who gets in and who gets out.
See?
wouldn't let them in for
Nobody said it was me besides Clue and Granny, and that's just because Clue has been pushing this bullshit about me from the beginning. She doesn't like me because I call out some of the stuff she does because I think it's gross. I have disabled children. I love them unconditionally. I don't think it's okay to joke about murdering and saying things like that when you're searching for a missing child or you're going to his vigil, regardless of how you feel about his family members. I think that is awful. I don't think you should do it. I don't think you should sing songs about I'm a killer, 911, I'm a killer, and show all kinds of crazy Christmas merch and stuff while you're hashtagging this young man's disappearance. Like, I think it's gross. I think it's wrong. It is what it is. I'm not into the Jerry Springer stuff, but you don't have to make shit up. Tell the truth. I have enough crazy that you could show truthfulness. You don't got to make it up.
anything. Those people are fucking.
No.
So I'm not even going to pay attention to that. What I want to talk about is what we're doing up here, right? The point of this situation is that all of the bullshit has got to fucking stop. All of it.
I want you guys to listen to this one more time.
Who's in the back chat?
I promise. Okay, I want you to pay attention to how they use this to get Chris out of what he was upset about, right? And how Truth is reacting to all this. And I just pay attention to how they're all acting and then listen to what Truth goes in on, because he knows that they're making shit up. So listen to the lecture that Truth. Listen, this is why I think that Truth might be a good dude, and I still have hope for Clue and Cletus. I don't know. I really do. I have hope. We'll find out one day. And then I'll stop. I'll shut up.
Sure.
And here we are. We're 10 months into this. We got no leads. We got nothing. But yet we got another team over here that's out here just throwing shade left and right and a bunch of crap.
That's what we're talking about. We think it's very dangerous. People are being thrown under the bus and nobody seems to fucking care.
Who's in the back chat?
I have no idea. Hold on.
It's that fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Under Chris's name too.
Yeah. I see it in the back chat. Yeah.
So who is this person?
I do. That's the person that's attached to that woman that accused you, Clue, of having something to do with it.
I have no idea who it is, to be honest with you.
What the hell's her name again? She was making those anti-sex videos, and out of nowhere, she went nuts on us. Remember?
Momming it up.
You talking about momming it up?
Oh, that crazy bitch.
That's her man in the back right now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, she just said, I'm psycho, LMFAO. Yeah, but you psycho as fuck.
Says Chris, tell them to let MK Ultra in.
All right, so now Chris Proudfoot. How do you know me, bud? I'm just wondering. I think that's kind of strange. I don't have a channel. I'm not in the algorithm. My channel's teeny tiny until JLR shared it because Clue shared it to him. And I never accused Seth of anything. I didn't accuse anybody of anything. I was just showing people's information. So what I'm curious about is you're sitting there trying to say now that I'm pretending to be you and get into people's channels. I will go by and talk to, didn't you say they were your friends? So I'll go talk to law enforcement tomorrow and ask Sumner County, what do I do to clear my name? Because I'm definitely not involved in the way this team seems to be involved. So I'll clear that up because it wasn't me. And I don't appreciate you lying and saying, oh, momming it up, because you darn well know, all of you, that I was nowhere near that chat. You know it.
And you need a bitch.
Well,
It ain't my show to control who gets in and who gets out.
I wouldn't let them in for anything. Those people are fucking.
No.
So I'm not even going to pay attention to that. What I want to talk about is what we're doing up here, right? The point of this situation is that all of the bullshit has got to fucking stop. All of it. The putting shit behind the scenes for creators to talk about. Seth needs to stop it. Chris and Katie need to stop it.
Well, hold on. Let me stop you there because we ain't putting stuff out behind the scenes.
Bullshit.
Well, Chris, can I ask you about
what are we putting out behind the scenes?
Chris, don't put me in this position. Don't do it. Do not pull my man card. Chris, don't pull my man card and put me in this position.
I ain't pulling anybody's man card.
Chris, I'm going to ask you one more time. Do not put me in this position.
Well, the way you're making it sound is a little odder than it may be true. So maybe instead of getting like that with him, because he may not know what you're referring to, because to be
yes,
honest,
he does.
But it's for Sebastian, right?
I'm not up here to have an issue with you, Chris. I just sat here and said, I don't think you have anything to do with the disappearance of your stepson. But do not put me in the position of you saying that there's not shit being pushed behind closed doors when you know damn well there has been.
I'm gonna tell you right now. There
Yeah, me.
out there that we're afraid of. We
I don't
haven't
think there
done
is either.
anything. Hold on. Let me finish. Because this isn't about fucking size. Once again, when all these creators can get past this shit and finally focus back on Sebastian, then the case might go somewhere. But it won't go anywhere if everybody is out here putting different narratives out there that don't need to be out there.
We all agree on that.
Right, but that includes
So once
everybody,
again,
Chris.
yeah, that
That
includes
includes,
everybody. And I'm going to
yeah.
tell you something. If you come at me sideways or you come at my family sideways, you can bet your tail that when we bring the proof, it's proof. It's plain and simple.
Well, that's the thing, Chris.
Oh, so that's why Chris doesn't like me. Because, oh, now it makes sense. Okay. Allegedly, in my opinion, now I get it. Now I know why they all had to go for me. I got it now. I get it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We're going to have to go take a little peeky at the letters for Esme. The guy that's searching in the woods in a minute. Do you want to see that guy? Have you guys seen him yet? Letters to Esme?
I don't throw shade at people. I bring the proof. That's the difference.
About what?
Whatever. If y'all want to come out and say some shit, come out and say it.
Who is said? What are you worried about someone saying? Like,
It doesn't.
I don't know.
That's
I don't
the
know. Hold
problem.
on. I don't know
That's
how
the
much you
problem.
said.
Because you all come out and say different things, and you all have your little riddle ways of putting shit out there.
I think you're confusing us with different people. Never have we done riddles.
Truth out
never.
there yesterday or the other day said some stuff about Katie.
Like what, Chris? Open that can.
I don't have the exact quote on me, okay?
Well, if you're going to accuse me on my panel, be willing to back it up.
I am willing to back it up. If I had the exact quote, I would give it to you.
What was it about?
Come on, Truth.
In regards to whether or not Katie was there or her going to the school looking for Sebastian.
You mean my question of why did Katie go to the school?
Guys, can we start a petition for Truth? I would like to watch Truth, even if he's manufactured, if he just tells the truth. Truth. Come on, dude. You made a channel out of the blue over this kid. Like, you definitely are in the know, dude. And you know that they're doing some dirty stuff for no reason. And you know it is mean to target me. I have 3 disabled kids, and my oldest son is in the Army. There is no reason to come at me. I have enough shit on my plate, okay? I have enough shit on my plate. It is mean. It is really mean. You seem to have a heart. So just remember, if they'll go for people like me, they'll go after Momming It Up. They'll go after you. They'll go after everybody. But spill the beans, Truth. Come on. Redeem yourself. You could be a big creator. You could have a big channel. Guys, you can tell I'm emphasizing my psycho, right? I'm trying tonight.
School? Is it because Sebastian had maybe missed the bus and had walked there at some point? You're upset about that?
The way it was projected made it sound like you're questioning why did she even go to the school in the first place?
That's exactly what I was asking. Why,
because
out
she's
of
a mother
everywhere,
who has a son that goes to that school.
right?
Why wouldn't you go to the school and look for your kid?
I would agree with that.
I
Why?
mean,
I would have gone there too.
I would have done the
My
same.
question was was there a history of Sebastian walking to school, which is why she first thought, let me go to the school. Now, if you took that as me being disrespectful, that wasn't what it was. It was, why was her first thought, go to the school? It's a simple question.
Right. And it's a simple, logical answer to think about too.
Okay,
It
so
is a Monday morning. He was supposed to be at school. So just like any other parent out there who has children, they're going to do the exact same thing.
I mean, if my child was missing, I would be out screaming from the rooftops for him.
And you're saying that she's not.
I'm absolutely saying she is not out screaming from the rooftops for her child.
What you don't know happens behind closed doors.
That's not screaming from the rooftops.
Wait a minute.
No one can hear her.
The problem is every time that somebody comes out and does something or says something, it gets twisted and turned in such a negative light. It doesn't matter who it is.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
It's true, 100%.
I don't disagree with you on that. But when
so once again, you're out here saying this.
Hold on. No, I'm out here saying this because I've said that. Hold on. I've said this to you and Katie personally, have I not?
You have, Truth.
Okay,
You don't understand if you're not here in this situation. You're not seeing the whole picture.
Hold on. Now, when I had that conversation with you, was it 1 conversation, 10 conversations?
Truth, we've had several conversations.
Okay. Now, did I ever have that conversation with you with any ill intent whatsoever?
No.
Okay.
Not
So
well.
why are
hold
you
on,
mad at
wait.
me?
Let me
Why
correct my
why
answer
are you
here.
mad? Because I'm asking questions. Because I
Well, I'm
want, just
mad.
like
Hold on.
you want,
Well, let me answer your
Sebastian to be
question.
home.
I mean,
Let
you
me
got
answer
to
your
give him a chance
question.
to talk, Truth. To be fair.
So automatically, my phone has been blowing up ever since you started talking about my truck.
Really?
So it's shit like that when it's put out there and you don't have the right information, which I'm pretty sure I've told you that before.
Okay, guys, there's hardly anybody that watches these people. Can we just get back to reality for a second? And I don't mean to disrespect small channels, okay? That's not my intention. Although these people, I mean, I really don't care. But in general, they don't have a following. This isn't court TV. This isn't Vinnie Politan, okay? This isn't Dog the Bounty Hunter that they love to make fun of all the time. This is not News Nation. What do they have in chat? Like 1,000 people? And he's pretending that he's getting all kinds of text messages about his truck. But then let's just talk about a random mom that, wow.
I said
That
exactly
when my
what you
truck was
just said.
there, once again, are you going to let me finish?
If you'll listen to what I say and repeat it
I was
correctly,
trying
sure.
to, but I was trying to finish my statement.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
So I've told you this before. And the cat's out of the bag. FBI looked into me a long time ago. They've tracked my whereabouts with no problems. So when you come out here and somebody makes a statement, and then once again, like I've said before, you say something and 50,000 people take it and they run with it and they twist and turn it. And you could bet your sweet ass this conversation will be twisted within less than probably an hour of the show being over, if not twisted now.
It's twisted now.
Oh, somebody
Yeah.
live. Somebody's live.
Yeah, but
Now
here's
they're
the
all in
thing.
the chat.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
true.
how people. It doesn't matter how people twist it, right? Like they're going to
For
twist
you, it doesn't
everything.
matter
You
because
just
you're not
hold
living
on.
this life that we live.
Are you going to let me
Plain and
finish?
simple.
Are you going to let me finish? Because
Sure.
I'm listening to you, right? You cannot come on here and act like I'm doing something wrong because I'm paying attention to you and Katie, and you have no problem with everybody throwing shade at Seth. You have no problem with that. Okay? You can't come on here and pick apart something I'm saying because you don't agree with it now, but you sit there and have no problem with people attacking Seth. Okay?
I have problems when I
That's
gave
not
you the
fair.
truth. I
Your
have a
truth.
problem when I gave you the truth.
What truth? What truth?
I told you about my truck.
Is that not what I just said on my live? I literally said what you said. So why are you arguing with me about that?
Because there's a lot of questions about it. Because
That has nothing
not
to do with me.
everybody.
I said word for word.
Who has time for this? If your teenager is missing, you have another kid, you both have jobs. Can we all just discuss, like, I don't even have time for this. I don't even have time for this. Honestly, like I should be sleeping or eating because I could gain a few pounds. They're saying like I'm an anorexic now. I heard that one. I mean, I think they'll learn, or if they haven't already, like, I don't care what you call me, like I'll put my photo back up again. There's this beautiful horse with blonde hair. I know I got a big head. I don't care. Like nothing can faze me. I'm a mom. I don't give a crap. Trying to rationalize what is happening. Like, where's Chris's mom and dad? Like, let's just all take a step back and say, none of the parents are involved in Sebastian's disappearance. Nobody is deliberately withholding information just to create a story for clicks, views, and profit. Maybe they have nothing to do with it. They know he ran off with a friend or something, but it's being dragged on for clicks, views, whatever. Who knows? All alleged. I'm speculating. Would you stop this? Wouldn't you have family, loved ones, friends, anybody come over and be like, hey, dude, stop. You're making yourself look really bad. This is looking really bad. Nobody wonders that. Like, this act, like, they act like the most suspicious thing I've ever seen in my entire life. If they didn't behave like this, I probably would still honestly think in my mind, well, maybe Seth had somebody take Sebastian because Sebastian was not in a great environment at the moment, in my opinion, right? So maybe he went off to stay with somebody that was going to give him a little more freedom, not be so, misunderstanding his, different abilities. I mean, I'm just saying, pondering things, right? But this is the kind of stuff that's like, who does this stuff? Who does this stuff? This isn't normal stuff.
Word what you said.
No, you didn't, because it wasn't, well, my truck would have been there the 25th or the 26th.
That's not what I said.
There is no question about me on the 25th. I didn't show up until at least 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 26th. Period.
OG Blame Erica. OG Blame Erica. I like you. I know that you are a fence sitter. I get it. But there's 7 million people in Tennessee, right? Most people don't watch YouTube at all. That's why I kept saying, why aren't you telling people to text Sebastian's missing flyer? That's why I said, why aren't we buying YouTube ads and Facebook ads and TikTok ads? Because the average person doesn't watch YouTube. Even if there's 5,000 people in chat, most of them are people that are stuck at home because they can't leave the house, whether it's a depression, a mental illness, a physical illness, whether they're a mom like me that has a child with really special needs or a child with severe to profound autism. So you're stuck home a lot and you get, you need interaction because we're humans, right? We need to have a tribe, so to speak. But in all reality, hardly anyone are watching any of this that could help with Sebastian. That's the truth. That's why you want somebody like Dog the Bounty Hunter. That's why you want somebody that has a large following, whether you love them or you hate them. Because if the child needs to be found, you want the most people of all different politics and religions and age groups and demographics looking for them. And picking shows and watching shows and talking to people that don't have resources and hardly anybody watches them, it's odd to me. It's really odd. Well, I used to love Mountain Dew. Now my son likes it. So he's allowed to have one every other day. Sometimes he sneaks one a day. But, I'm a Red Bull person. And no, it doesn't give me wings anymore. When her autism started becoming very severe, caffeine just doesn't work for me anymore. But I love Red Bull. I'm hooked on it. I really am. It's bad. It's very bad for your heart. I know.
Can you just clarify the situation, Chris? Like what exactly? You show up on the 26th. They go for open networks. Like what was the story, just so it doesn't go further?
So on the 26th, when I got there, okay, I went and talked to the detective. Probably, I don't know, I wasn't even home maybe in 30 minutes. And I went and talked to the detectives. Okay. Later on that day, I mean, there was, like we've said before, there's been people in and out of that house quite often.
All right, I'm going to
They
annoy
brought
you
in a
guys. We're
special
rewinding for a second.
period.
Now watch Truth's face. See, this is why I don't think Truth is in on the, whatever it is that everybody's in on, right? I don't think Truth really was in on it. I think he's he was brought in. Maybe how they were trying to do it to me from the Facebook group from the beginning. But because watch the way that he acts and stuff. I don't know. I don't think he's down with all the crap. I don't know.
The 25th or the 26th.
That's not what I said.
There is no question about me on the 25th.
See, watch.
I didn't show up until at least 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 26th.
We don't know that.
Can you just clarify the situation, Chris? Like what exactly? You show up on the 26th. They go for
see how
networks,
he acts like he knows he's full of shit. And I was like, oh, there's so much I wish I could tell you guys, and I know I can't. I just can't. Truth has to come out though about certain things because there's a lot of people that do know certain things. Oh, frustrating. Oh, junk. Sorry. Truth knows this conversation about the truck and the dates. He's playing the twisty game, the word twisty game. You could tell by Truth. You could just read it all over his face. All right, here we go.
Totally okay. It's totally okay. You don't know me. It's totally fine. I just
about speaking on Sebastian at all and why there were decisions being made, because I think it is extremely important to protect a child, right?
Yes, this conversation will be twisted within less than probably an hour of the show being over, if not twisted now.
Cares?
What truth?
I told
I'm just going to say for the record, by the way, if you think about this, if you think about how upset he gets about, oh, me and Katie's words will get twisted or whatever. Seriously, you can't handle your words getting twisted, but your stepson, you had no problem insinuating that he did something inappropriate. He had no problem letting all of his classmates and everybody know about his personal private matters and his and discussing bathrooms and things that should never be discussed. And I hit him on the buttocks because a 15-year-old really, really wants everybody to know that he gets hit on the buttocks. But you guys are worried about you. Oh, Jesus. Take the wheel, take the whole damn car right now, because I am just, and I know
told you about
nobody
my
wants
truck.
to hear me, bitch.
Is that not what I just said on my live? I literally said what you said. So why are you arguing with me about that?
because there's a lot of questions about it. Because
That has nothing
not
to do with me.
everybody-
I said word for word what you said.
No, you didn't, because it wasn't. Well, my truck would have been there the 25th or the 26th.
That's not what I
There
said.
is no question about me on the 25th. I didn't show up until at least 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 26th. Period.
Can you just clarify the situation, Chris? Like, what exactly? You show up on the 26th. They go for open networks. Like, what was the story? Just so it doesn't go further. And
So on the 26th, when I got there, okay. I went
See,
and
look
talked
at
to
truth.
the detective. Probably, I don't know. I wasn't even home maybe in 30 minutes, and I went and talked to the detectives. Okay. Later on that day, I mean, there was, like we've said before, there's been people in and out of that house quite often. They brought in their special little tools and their gadgets, and they do what they do. When they saw that there was my truck's internet on their system, they were like, well, this is a new one. Well, no shit, because it's my truck.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
My truck doesn't need to be in anybody's conversations about where it was, when it was, and how it was.
Chris, did you hear me say that I don't believe that Chris had anything to do with Sebastian? Okay. So then in saying that, when I spoke about your truck, do you think I was insinuating that you had something to do with Sebastian's disappearance?
No,
I mean,
that's not what I said.
I know. So my point is, it was said that your truck was there. I explained that they did because you told me that they did the geofencing thing for the 25th and 26th. Okay. Am I right?
I didn't tell you exactly what dates. I told you when they did it. However, what I'm telling
Because they did it for the 26th, I'm thinking. If the way that he's wording this and everything is weird as heck. So let's just get it out there. Law enforcement, FBI, CIA, everybody, yada yada. Can you please go see the geofencing of the 25th and get that over with?
telling you
I'm sorry, I was
is
muted.
don't insinuate my truck or me on the 25th or the morning of the 26th.
I didn't. So why are you still stuck on that?
I mean, Truth, to be fair, like I'm really trying to focus on the chat because I know we have trolls. And there are people saying that you kind of were insinuating. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. I kind of felt that too.
And that's why I was confused. I was like,
right.
what?
I
really
that's why
was.
me and Bonnie were both like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like,
Go
I mean,
back. Go back
you
and say
do
what I
have
said.
a way. Hold on. You do have a way of saying things like this mysterious fucking chocolate and like fucking.
We can go back and listen. He didn't insinuate at all. Like, they're making a huge deal about this, which means to me that they need to look at the 25th. And maybe he is driving around in a truck and stuff now. I don't know. I'm just saying, this is odd. This is not normal because Truth was not making a big deal about Chris's truck being in the neighborhood. Nor did I take it in a manner of which he was insinuating Chris's truck was there. Not at all. He was just talking about, we're going to go back real quick.
Never see anything. Not a goddamn thing, bro. When
It's so
people
dark.
tell you,
Cool.
when
So
people
dark.
tell you, I'm here, I've been there in the middle of the night. And when people say that it is so dark you can't see your hand in front of your face, it is not a lie.
Yeah, that's what Bobby said. Bobby Binocular said that.
Okay,
It's
well,
so dark.
But that's not psycho. That's not weird to be out and about as many times as you have admitted to being out and about in the middle of the night, night vision goggles, all that, looking for a kid that you never met before he disappeared. That's not strange.
Okay, that goes to my second point then. I'm so glad y'all said that, because although you think that you just, somehow closed that off, you absolutely didn't. Here's my thing. If that's the case, there's no light, okay?
Mhm.
And all Sebastian had was a tiny little toy flashlight. And he allegedly didn't have any shoes on, right? You're telling me that in wet dude grass, he didn't slip while running away from the house?
Who's to
didn't
say he ran?
Well, I mean,
Right.
because what do you mean? If you're walking in the dark in that neighborhood, if you go off into that terrain, you have to see the terrain. It's not possible.
Well, I don't think he went into terrain. I think we see a car light. Come on. I think he went into a vehicle. I think he met
No.
somebody.
I think he
have
could have made it to Long Hollow and met somebody.
Right.
Where's the digital footprint then?
He
Well, they
doesn't have to have a digital footprint. It could have been
Sure.
it could have been anybody on the road.
How do you think people kidnapped before electronics were around?
Before electronics were around, they didn't have cart teams that could come in and figure out what phones were used, what Wi-Fi's were in the area.
Right.
Now,
they didn't-
mind you, it was said that there were only two exterior internet
Wi-Fi.
sources that came in and out of the area that night.
Mhm.
And isn't it funny how one person said one of them was his?
Yeah, that would be a
Oh.
little weird for sure.
Oh, it got quiet real quick on that one.
I answered you.
I don't think I understand what you're.
I don't
I'm sorry.
understand it
I
either.
don't
I'm
understand
sorry.
what you're saying. That's why I'm quiet. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
He's
It
saying
was
supposedly on the night that Sebastian disappeared, they go through and they check like all the Wi-Fi in the area, and there was only 2 Wi-Fis that came in that area and left that area. Like 2 open networks, 2 traveling Wi-Fis came in and left.
Okay.
And apparently Chris claims one was his truck.
That
Boom.
night. That
Well,
night.
they did the search for that night. So
Why would Chris's truck be there?
I mean,
I didn't. This is the first I'm hearing of this, so that's why I'm like, what?
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't really comment on it because I don't know anything about it.
well,
Well,
I
it could
can-
have been the 25th through the 26th. I don't know. I mean,
Hey, 25th through 26th still means that allegedly he wasn't in town.
I mean, he
Well, the
the
26th,
26th he would have
he would
been.
have been.
came back.
Right.
Oh, right. The 26th he would have been. But if I'm not mistaken, I think the comment went something like, "Those dumb assholes didn't even know that it was my truck."
Lazy. Well, if you can't ask me what time, because I don't know. I
That's
don't
really
know what time.
that's really weird because so you're saying it's like a hot spot that came in and out.
Yes.
And that's really weird because you have to turn those on. They're not just
Well-
on. You have to turn them
Well,
on.
mine is always on. Actually, I will say mine is always on in my vehicles. I have the Wi-Fi in the vehicles. Now, getting it to work, that's a whole nother situation. But mine is always on. But I just wanted to play that because I don't think that Truth flat out was saying that Chris was there. I think what he was saying was that these are the dates and going over the times and trying to get down to the exact time, right? So, and then listen to how they all are. They're the ones that all went, "Oh, I didn't know this," and Clue got all mad. "I didn't hear this. This is the first time for me."
Responsible for the chat. Okay. I haven't even been paying attention to the chat because they've been saying just as much nasty shit about me in my chat. Okay. I'm talking to you. I've been talking to you through my message, but what we're arguing is a truck being in the area.
Because it's my truck.
The hell pays attention to chat? It's so stupid. This whole thing is insane to me. It's insane.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total
So-
sense.
My truck doesn't need to be in anybody's conversations about where it was, when it was, and how it was.
Chris's
Chris,
truck,
did you hear me
Chris's
say
truck, Chris's truck.
That I don't believe that Chris had anything to
did
do
hear
with
you
Sebastian.
say that.
Okay. So then in saying that, when I spoke about your truck, do you think I was insinuating that you had something to do with Sebastian's disappearance?
No,
I
it's
mean,
not what I said,
I-
Truth. That's not what I said.
I
That's
know.
not what
So
I
my
said.
point is, it was said that your truck was there. I explained that they did because you told me that they did the geofencing thing for the 25th and 26th. Okay. Am I right?
I didn't tell you exactly what dates. I told you when they did it. However, what I'm
Either
telling
way.
you is don't insinuate my truck or me on the 25th or the morning of the 26th.
Or what?
I didn't. So why are you still
Because
stuck on that?
I mean, Truth, to be fair, like I'm really trying to focus on the chat because I know we have trolls. And there are people saying that you kind of were insinuating. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. I kind of felt that too.
And that's why I was confused. I was like,
Right.
what?
I
I
think
really
that's why
was.
me and Bonnie were both like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, I
Go
mean,
back. Go back
you
and say
do
what I
have a
said.
way, hold on, you do have a way of saying things like this mysterious fucking chocolate in a like fucking Valentine box. Like, what the fuck am I gonna get? I don't know until I bite. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be
Right,
rude,
Forrest
but
Gump.
I mean, you do insinuate when you speak.
I mean, I guess what's okay is that we can grill Seth to the end, but we can't grill Chris and we can't grill Katie.
No, I
Because
don't
if
think
we do
anybody's
that-
saying that.
No,
No, hold on,
no.
hold on. I'm gonna stay. I have the right to say my own opinion. I'm not saying y'all agree with me, right? But it's interesting to me that Seth has been accused of horrible things with Katie. Seth has been accused of being
Seth
abusive.
said-
Hold on. Can I finish, please? Just 1 second. Seth has been accused of being physically abusive to Sebastian. Chris has been accused of these things. But what we're arguing is a truck being in the area. That's what made you jump up here. Not all the other accusations. But
so
the way that the
so
truck.
we'll address that real quick. It's real simple. What goes on in our family is not the public's business. We're not going to sit here, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you what in the world goes on or what happened in the past or any of that nature. That is not the public's business. I'm not.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. What? What is in our business? But it's the public's business to talk about a mom that has 3 disabled kids, one in the army, working her butt off, doing the best she can, that just so happened to try to share your son's picture around. But your personal life, when your stepson's missing, isn't allowed to be discussed, but you can go out of your way to talk about other people's personal life and family and bring attention on people that have done nothing to you at all? Okay.
Not all the other accusations. But
So
the way that the
so
truck.
we'll address that real quick. It's real simple. What goes on in our family is not the public's business. We're not going to sit here, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you what in the world goes on or what happened in the past or any of that nature. That is not the public's business. I'm not going to sit up here and do what Seth did. That's not happening.
Okay, but he's done it offline with every one of them, right? As soon as he gets somebody's ear, what happens? Oh, Sebastian did this at the school. Oh, read what Sebastian's been writing, right?
So wait.
I don't care if it offends or hurts somebody's feelings. That God
Total
forbid
strangers that he knows are going to go out there and make content off of it. That's okay, but he's not going to do it on a live stream.
Parent between Seth and I'm not going to sit here and bash Seth. I'm not going to sit here and put out personal information. That's nobody's business. How many people out there in all of these things have all said the same thing, that it should have never happened? And it's correct. It shouldn't have.
I agree.
It doesn't do anything.
But you just sat there giving all the emails trying to make Seth look bad because he wanted to, if you guys were going to put Sebastian somewhere, he wanted to make sure that it was a place that was going to help a child with his level of autism, with his exact diagnosis, reaching the goals that are on his individual education plan, right? Because every child has different disability needs. You didn't have a problem sharing that with people that are saying that they were strangers to you and your wife. They didn't even know Sebastian. And you're sitting there sharing personal, private information with strangers that you know, some of them, like Truth, created YouTube channels literally when your son disappeared. They started making channels and making the content when he disappeared. But you're going to act like you don't want that out there? You're not doing any of that?
Well, and comparing what Seth goes through, there's a shit ton more people that are accusing Chris and Katie. Look at them in your chat. Fucking
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not.
been in
Listen,
here
hold on.
before.
It's
Hold on.
wild
I
in
don't.
there. Like,
It
I
is.
mean, your
And then
chat.
you're saying, oh, Seth doesn't care if people talk about him. Tell me he fucking doesn't when I'm paying a lawyer for an injunction.
yeah,
When
that's a
he sent us
lie.
6
That's
And on
cease and
top of it,
desist.
a bold
Truth.
faced lie. He
See, here we go. Try to distract, change the narrative, back to Seth, forget Sebastian. No hard questions, anyone. Don't do it.
hears.
Well, I will say the truth. You and I, we've had our conversations, and we respect each other enough to understand we
For
don't
sure.
always agree, and we don't always
Absolutely.
disagree.
For sure.
But when your chat and my phone blows up with the perception of what you were, I'm not saying you're directly insinuating it, but even the fact of the way it came out was enough that my phone blew up.
Listen, here's
And
the
it's
thing.
and that's a serious issue, man.
The serious issue is that Sebastian's missing. That's the serious issue. Your phone
Well,
blowing
yes,
up doesn't
that's
mean
the
a damn
top
thing.
priority. That's not
Honestly, I'm not trying
that's
to
the
be
top priority.
disrespectful, but for people to be hitting your
So telling people that are hitting your phone about drama, you should be telling them to F off and block them. Instead, you want to talk about it and support it. You put more effort into rumor speculation and getting involved in creators' drama than talking about Sebastian. What the hell is up with that?
That's a serious issue, man.
the serious issue is that Sebastian's missing. That's the serious issue. Your phone
Well,
blowing
yes,
up doesn't
that's
mean
the
a damn
top
thing.
priority. That's not
Honestly, I'm not trying to be
that's the top priority.
disrespectful, but for people to be hitting your phone up, that tells me there's a lot of people on YouTube that have your fucking phone number.
No, just a lot of people have Facebook Messenger.
Well, maybe that, but my point is, I'm not responsible for the chat. Okay, I haven't even been paying attention to the chat because they've been saying just as much nasty shit about me in my chat. Okay, I'm talking to you. I've been talking to you through my message,
Yep.
through my lives. I've been
Right.
talking to Katie through my lives. I've done it behind the scenes and personal. There is absolutely nothing, and Chris, you've got to be able to agree with me on this. There's nothing that I've said up here on this panel that you and I haven't talked about before.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
So I'm not.
But-
up here. Listen, I'm not up here to smear you or smear Katie or smear Seth. Okay, that's
It's
not my
a
goal.
smear. Listen, it's not a smear. It's the fact of an insinuation or the way that people perceive it. And what do? They're going to turn around and they're going to blow up the phone lines, the tip lines, and push this narrative that is so false. That's what they're going to do.
But hasn't that been the same thing? The little bit of information that you and Katie have put out to creators done to Seth?
Actually, no, we don't put out false information about that.
I didn't say false, just information in general.
I mean, to be fair, if it's information that should be known about Seth, isn't that worth it?
Why doesn't
and I
that
will
work?
say
The same,
this,
why doesn't
what-
that work the same way for Chris and Katie though?
Well, if it's actual factual information, sure, put it out and call law enforcement. Go for it.
I mean, listen, you know,
But
just
it's
I mean, are you guys really taking in what he's sitting here and talking about? But it was okay to just completely do that to me. You're saying that I'm a psycho. You're saying I'm pretending to be you. I have 3 children I have to take care of. I have a career. I have a degree. I have a profession that one day I would love to go back to doing as, my kids are older and I don't have to do as much with them. So, and I am going on about me, because I cannot give a firsthand account for other people. I know it's happened to tons of people, but I only know me 100%. You know what I mean? Factually speaking, so you don't care that you're letting all these people think all these things of me. So what does that mean? What's going to happen then if you have all these people? They're going to, start calling CPS on me? Are you hoping they all call law enforcement like you said that time on the panel? Because for whatever reason, that was said the last time they all went at me. Chris, you're admitting that you think that you have the power, that people really, really are paying attention so much that the power of the people watching you guys can cause that much damage that fast. And then you'll do that to me and to other people without blinking an eye when you all, every one of them know I was not in that back chat. Every one of them. Every one of them. To me, that's a real problem. And it's not about me. They can talk about me every day. They can say every horrible thing. They can make up stories all they want. It's not going to get them a lot of content because I'm really boring when it comes to interacting and engaging with stuff like that. It is what it is. You can call me everything you want to call me. I don't care. I'm talking about it because there's a missing child. a real missing child with a $50,000 reward. And this is where the stepdad comes for the first time in months. This is the first time we hear anything in months. In months.
About
Well, as I know,
Sebastian. This ain't about tit for tat of what he did in the past, what she's done in the past, what I've done in the past. Who cares? This
but
ain't about our
apparently,
characters. This is about finding Sebastian.
but I think
And if we
unfortunately
go
it has
tit
a
for
lot.
tat about, well, Seth did this, Katie said that, I did this, and blah, blah, blah. Once again, it doesn't find Sebastian.
But who put that information out there for everybody to know? If it doesn't matter, why was it ever put out there in the first place?
Well, how many times have you asked us about something about Seth and we've never told you?
Rarely.
Same concept.
Rarely.
Nope.
I mean,
Same
honestly,
concept.
listen, here's the thing. It's not about me wanting you to be bashed, Katie to be bashed, or Seth. I don't want any of the parents to be bashed. But I also,
Then quit
at
with
the same,
crap.
don't tell me what to do with my channel because I'm not doing any crap. I'm simply bringing up conversation, Chris. The same conversations that I've had with you personally. I'm not talking about anything that I haven't talked to you and Katie about. So to assume that I'm coming on here and making shit up or pushing a narrative is bullshit because I'm not. And you just said yourself, everything I've said, I've spoke to you about already. So to insinuate that I'm putting out some type of narrative that is you don't know about or you don't whatever, that's not the case. My questions have come up based on the conversations that we've had, right? And at the end of the day, I will stand on this again. And I won't go into it any further out of respect.
Is Truth not in like a contract with them or no NDA or something like that? Does he not realize like you're not supposed to talk about certain things on the channel? Like, is he not getting it? Is that what's happening right now? Because he seems to really be confused. He does. Bless his heart.
Questions have come up based on the conversations that we've had, right? And at the end of the day, I will stand on this again. And I won't go into it any further out of respect. I have been very careful about speaking on Sebastian at all and why there were decisions being made because I think it is extremely important to protect a child, right? I also think that if the general public knew some of the things, they would understand why you and Katie and Seth were making the decisions you were making or attempting to make. Would you agree?
I'm not going to sit here and go over that.
I respect that.
What I will agree with is simply this. Having a conversation is one thing. Having questions is one thing. But when your chat, which, I mean, no, you're not responsible for everybody. That's completely understandable. But as one creator has even stated, sometimes the way you say something almost seems like you push something in a different direction.
I just think it's frustrating to certain people that I won't push their direction.
I don't have a direction other
I
than
didn't say
finding
you.
Sebastian and bringing him home.
I didn't
That's,
say you.
that's what I have a problem with. Is why is everybody so worried about the bullshit? And that's literally what it is, bullshit. Instead of actual finding Sebastian.
Well, to be fair, Chris, without all the information, it's kind of hard, right?
Right, but
You got to be
there's no
kidding
new
me.
information. I wish there was. There's nothing.
And because there's nothing, I think a lot of people are filling it with bullshit, right? They're filling the void with the gossip and the bullshit and those.
Well, now a creator's involved. I mean, so yeah.
Well,
this is the
yeah.
shit that's going on.
I think when there's a divide, somebody's going to fill the gap with something, right? And that's what we see day in and day out.
And I see a lot of comments, and I see a lot of comments about Katie, let Katie speak. And, using the Texas Roadhouse video footage as an example, she was picked apart simply for looking for a waitress, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Like they picked that apart for weeks, or well, not weeks, but over a week.
Who cares?
I kind of understand why she wouldn't. Anything she does, she rubs her leg and people think something. Like, I kind of understand where she's coming from there.
She's a freaking soldier, and you're telling me that bothers her? Oh my goodness. We have celebrities that have paparazzi and stuff that bother them all the time. Like, come on. Please, give me a darn break. This is like really absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, I think what they're trying to do, I think some of them are they've been trying to open the doors. Crabtree, Granny, Dolly, even in my opinion, they're trying to open the door to make everybody aware of what Sebastian was writing on paper, what allegedly was going on with his behaviors. And that is disgusting to me. And let me tell you, everybody that's okay with trying to put that out there, shame on you, because there's no way the public is ever going to get behind that. Doesn't matter what you say or how much you think that people are not going to care. They're going to care. They are going to care because he was a special needs child. So it doesn't matter. It is never going to make people understand and feel sympathy for anybody other than Sebastian. And I think this is what they've been trying to do for a couple weeks. And I think it's awful because it's the holidays. It started right before his birthday. Now we're getting right to Christmas. I mean, it's like they're really trying to hurt Seth, because if Sebastian's out there, you wouldn't want to hurt Sebastian and not have him come home. None of this adds up. It's really awful. And if any of you hear me, you darn well know what I'm talking about. And you know I'm right. The stuff that's been said about what happened in school, what his behaviors were, the red flags, blah, 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 all this stuff, you know it's wrong. You don't know him. You've all said yourself you don't know him. It's wrong. I really hope you do not get out there and you guys don't start pushing it. I really hope you don't do that. Because whether he's here or whether he's gone, no child deserves that. And I wouldn't want the karma that you're putting out if you really do go that far. Honest to God. And really think about it. That you have a mom, stepdad, and family that are okay with it, that have talked about him like that have shared information like that while he's missing. Come on, people. Really. This is really, really bad, and you know it. And I'm not going to be the one not doing it, but we all know it. Stop painting this kid out to be a freaking monster. That is what you all are doing. That's what's making you feel okay with how you're acting. Shame on it. I'm serious. It's really bad. It's not okay. And I'm telling you guys, Granny, first it was Crabtree and Clue, then it was Dolly. Now they got Granny coming back in. They are trying to get an opening. Sorry, it really gets me emotional because this is wrong. I've seen this done to people my whole life. You don't do that to people. You don't make a teenager out to be something they're not. You don't use their vulnerabilities. It's disturbing. It's really disturbing. And I know that's what's happening. They want the whole story. And it's not the whole story. You know why? Because Sebastian isn't here to tell the truth. It's his story. It's not Chris's story, your story, a piece of paper story. You have no idea why he wrote something on paper. He could have done it just for attention. You have no idea. So please, if you guys are listening to me, do whatever you want for content. But don't freaking do this. And you know what I'm talking about. Don't do it. Don't go that low. There's not going to be any coming back if you really do, honestly, in my opinion. The majority of everybody is not going to be okay with it. They're never going to be okay with it. It's awful if you guys are going to try to fall for this crap and really push that out there.
It's a lot. People really tear her apart, you guys.
And see,
And-
People, well, hold on, and let me defend something real quick. People tear all of us apart. All of us.
that's facts.
People are tearing people apart in these shows for no reason. Now they're going after a pastor.
That is crazy. That is
Excuse
absolutely
me, like help me understand how going after a pastor is going to help find Sebastian.
Well, you're going
Sebastian,
after me.
Seth, Katie, myself, my parents, and God forbid anybody else involved. How is it finding Sebastian?
I don't know. You're not going to
People are
find
people in this
Sebastian
world.
here. You know, you tried to pretend my son was a lookalike, but he's definitely not Sebastian Rogers. So I don't know. You answer your own questions, Mr. Hypocrite.
And guess what? There's not one soul that is perfect. We all have our imperfections.
Difference is them pushing stuff like that is going to raise a lot of attention. It's going to get it more viral. It's going to go through all the different freedom churches. It's going to get people all talking again. And that will get Sebastian's name out there. Talking about somebody like me and a bunch of other people that are not popular, do not have viewers, do not have anything to do with anything, that makes no sense.
But that's what makes this world go round. Because if it was perfect, it would be very boring. And people would not want to communicate with each other because we're all perfect, but we're not. In return, look, have some compassion. Learn to accept things. Like, there's answers that we all have want, and we just don't get.
Learn to accept things. Have compassion. With all the private stuff that you guys have shared about Sebastian, are you kidding me right now? Learn to accept what?
It would be very boring. And people would not want to communicate with each other because we're all perfect, but we're not. In return, look, have some compassion. Learn to accept things. Like, there's answers that we all have want, and we just don't get.
Have some compassion. Then why are you still talking to Crabtree after he said what he said about Sebastian and what he wrote on a piece of paper? Why are you still talking to these people if you're not signing this bullshit?
Not yet, anyway.
Exactly. And we want nothing more than to have them. Sebastian to be home. That's what's important here.
Yeah, but you got to understand when there's a missing child and they're, like you said, tearing people apart, when people feel there's inconsistencies in stories, and people are going to dissect that. That's what this sector does.
I know. And the sad part is because the whole story cannot come out.
Right.
Because law enforcement doesn't want things out. You know, there
Not
are people
true.
out there that want to take one thing and twist it and shove it into a direction which they don't need it to be going, but they're doing it anyways. For what reasons? It ain't my business. But it sure in the world doesn't help find Sebastian.
All right, we're listening to that again. For what reason it ain't my business? It should be your business if it's all about Sebastian. If you're saying law enforcement doesn't want things out there, I don't believe that. I think that law enforcement hasn't said any of this. I think you're saying it. I think you don't want it out there. Just like with Nancy Grace, you didn't know the year of your truck. You didn't want Katie's work fan out there. You didn't have permission from law enforcement. Don't want to talk about the lie detector. Don't want to talk about all kinds of stuff, but you'll drop all these insinuations. Just like I went on a rant a couple minutes ago about all the off the records that you've had with everybody, allegedly, in my opinion. So what is it?
Like, there's answers that we all have want, and we just don't.
There's answers that we all have. I'm going back to regular speed, everybody. In case I go back to clip this.
Very boring.
Yeah,
And people would not want to communicate with each other because we're all perfect, but we're not. In return, look, have some compassion. Learn to accept things. Like, there's answers that we all have want, and we just don't get.
Not yet, anyway.
Exactly. And we want nothing more than to have them. Sebastian to be home. That's what's important here.
Yeah, but you got to understand when there's a missing child and they're, like you said, tearing people apart, when people feel there's inconsistencies in stories, and people are going to dissect that. That's what this sector does.
I know. And the sad part is because the whole story cannot come out.
Right.
Because law enforcement doesn't want things out.
No, I don't believe that. Do you guys believe that? Do you think the whole story can't come out because law enforcement doesn't want it out? Or do you think that he's trying to open the doorway to paint a narrative of a whole story of a bad person that ran away? Because that's the off the record, allegedly, in my opinion, which isn't true. None of that is true. It's another lie, distraction. Yeah, not true.
You know, there are people out there that want to take one thing and twist it and shove it into a direction which they don't need it to be going, but they're doing it anyways. For what reasons? It ain't my business. But it sure in the world doesn't help find Sebastian. This community, true crime, and all these creators out there, they could do, God, they could do so much
Amazing things.
Yes.
Amazing things.
Everybody
Absolutely.
can. And I've had this conversation with several people. They could do so much better. They really can.
But why then are you picking the channels that aren't? Why aren't you going to Grizzly True Crime, Doo-Doo Ron, Michelle After Dark? I mean, I could name tons of larger channels that do things more factually, more ethically. They don't even engage with the chat. Lore Lodge, you never answered them. Why is he so focused on these little channels?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that.
And instead of just going after each other, and I mean, I've even heard creators going after creators, you know, for their own personal reasons. You know, that's their choice. But when it comes to this community and finding these children, Sebastian,
He knows that's Clue. Clue,
for their
for
own-
some reason, has had a problem with me from the beginning. And I think I don't know why. I had no problem with her, but I think it's her, honestly. She's never liked me for some weird reason. It's very bizarre. I don't know.
This self
Unless she really hates Donald Trump, and they all hate Donald Trump, because when I used to do my independent investigative journalism and I'd be on panels, and when I had the show and we closed, like Disclosed TV, they did a pilot for a while where they had a show and it had a lot of views, right? It did for the time period. They had over 1 million subscribers on Twitter at the time. And I enjoyed doing that, you know, and it was fun. But I was a little more on the Trump train in a way, you know, a little more on the Trump train. And love matters. I really try not to be one or the other. However, after I had to escape my home in New York, after what I went through in New York after my whole life, I just needed something different. Like, I don't want to get into political stuff and get everybody all upset, but believe me, people can say that they are one party and they could be anything they want. You can say you're whatever you want on YouTube, apparently, when you're really not, right? It's like the same crazy thing. Politics is crazy. But at the end of the day, I did meet a lot of people that were doing investigative journalism and trying to do live streams, and you know, I wouldn't sign contracts. I didn't want to sign a contract and be a fake person on YouTube. I'm not going to lie. There is some things I do regret, because financially, life would have been a hell of a lot easier. My daughter's therapies are absurd, the cost. And it would have been a lot easier if I could just sit here, read a script, then that's it. But I have a really hard time, really, really hard time if I have to lie. Like, I have a problem with that. And yeah, I fibbed before. I'm not a perfect person at all. But I'm talking about, like, when you're talking about stuff that actually affects people and that's important, you know, that kind of thing, like that, I have a really hard time with. I really do. I really have a hard time with it. And I'm not bashing people that have, you know, contracts and they have their producers and their admins on YouTube and everything at all. I'm not. But, you know, it makes me wonder if maybe that's where this stuff came from with Clue, because if everybody was in those original Facebooks and they saw my Facebook, which I know obviously they did, then that would make sense, because I was friends with certain people that are popular, you know, that have more than a couple 100,000 subs. They would have seen certain things from my friends list and stuff like that, you know. So I don't know, maybe that's what happened. I'm not really sure. Or a misunderstanding because people lie like rugs. I don't know. It is very bizarre. But what's really unsettling is that you have a missing child and you have parents and step-parents that think this is fun to be a part of. That is strange.
this cell phone doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
you know. But if it has history of being there, like if he had a burner in his room, you know, maybe he turned it on like every other day, then it might not red flag. It really depends.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, it really depends.
I dropped a link.
Yeah, I don't think that's Chris. I think you can all kind of relax a little bit there.
Oh, wait,
Well,
what's going on?
If it
chat's
is
going
Chris,
wild.
just show me your face when you
Oh,
come
what
into
the
the
heck
back
happened?
chat,
What did I
and
do?
I'll bring you up.
Even until now, they have.
Oh, Katie, is she a close relative? Is she
Fucking imagine that, right? So I understand completely when Chris feels like even something is being insinuated about her. And I understand why he gets upset and immediately wants to come to her defense. He loves her. It's what
Well,
he's supposed to do.
right, like I said earlier, he's being a protective husband, right? Like,
well,
yeah, I get
know
it.
people are going to push back because they're saying already, like, no, you cared more about the truck. To clarify, that right there was going to lead to another 100 live streams saying, boom, Chris is guilty. So it's not that he cared about the truck over Sebastian. He cares about, as he said, the misinformation and disinformation, or half of the information being out there that leads to hours of speculation that does not result or even help Sebastian be found because it's not based on fact. So no, he didn't care about the truck. Just being simple-minded.
Well, once again, that's where people, they have their opinions, and I've stated the fact.
Well, opinions don't write a probable cause affidavit, and people need to remember that. Your feelings about people and maybe them being shady or, you know, whatever. And I'm talking to the creators and the viewers. They don't write a PCA.
No, but you know what, when you have a whole bunch of stuff together, and then earlier in this stream, as soon as you hop on, you all sit there and pretend that you have somebody in the back chat like myself. You are sitting there admitting that doing these things can create hours of distracting content. And you all know that's not true. When you're doing things like that over and over and over, don't you think the FBI and law enforcement and the TBI, they may just say, you know, something's kind of weird here. Something's kind of weird.
Right? You have to have evidence. And as we all know, right now, there is no evidence against anybody. So to start an investigation and hire a private intelligence agency and have them come out the gate after Chris and Katie is wild to me. Wild to me. What kind of intelligence agency starts an investigation with suspects in mind? It's fucking wild. So anyway, your facts, your feelings don't write a PCA.
Actually, some of their feelings did write out a whole.
Well, they wrote out an injunction, but not a PCA, not a probable cause, right? Come on, you know, like,
that's not even going to.
And you have to be in true. I've been in true crime a really long time. You guys know me from the shows and stuff, but like, you have to be able to bend with the evidence, right? You have to. You can have an idea of something, but you have to bend your theory with the evidence. And right now, we all hate it, but there is no evidence, you guys.
Well, yeah, and
that
I
we
think
know
there's a
about.
ton.
That we know about.
You guys are
if
giving
I
us a
may,
lot.
because I've never had a chance to speak to you, Chris, on a panel or anything. If I may seek this opportunity to ask some of the questions that they are using, basing their feelings on. Did you?
She just said I've never had a chance to speak to Chris on a panel or anything, but she admitted to talking to him all the time. Didn't she say earlier she talks to him all the time? But now she needs to do it on a live panel. Like, what the hell?
When Katie take a vacation shortly after Sebastian's disappearance?
To where?
I mean, I don't know. They're all saying you guys went on vacation.
No, we have never, in this whole deal, like, we haven't been on a vacation.
Why are you people telling me to stop? Wouldn't you, like, would you rather seek this opportunity to clear up rumors and hopefully get some solid answers? Or do you guys want to have a little where we can all powwow and tell everybody how great each other is.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, I'd rather seek this opportunity, but I'll digress. We'll go ahead.
No,
and
don't digress, because you're right. It is the
No,
perfect.
say whatever the hell you want. Fuck them
This
people.
is what
They
he's
ain't
here
shit.
for. But all right, you guys.
No, you're
Flateners, I can see you. So you are suggesting to write an email. See, in the beginning of this, I was trying to get attention as much as I could. I was like adding people in the videos I was putting up. And then once Dog and everybody came in, I was like, well, then there's no point in me doing that. Like, there is big people, but you're right. Like, we need like more news and stuff. Let's see. It's none of my business. These people are so strange. You're so weird, Bandit. I don't know why you're upset. I hope you feel better and find channels that you like. Tons of channels to watch. Tons and tons and tons. I'm trying to scroll up just so I could read what you said about who the best person is to write to. If we all send in the emails, then we get an abundance of emails, and then they can see interest, especially if it's a lot of people. I hope you get a good night's sleep and that your double goes well. Oof, those are rough. I remember having a couple of those. Those are rough. Thanks for your service. I'll definitely look into that and see what we can do. And I could easily text it to everybody I know and email everybody I know, because everybody in my personal life and my family, my friends, they know that Sebastian's missing because my son, has talked about it. He asks about him and stuff all the time. So I know I can actually get people that I know personally. I could probably get at least maybe 30 that would actually do it. But maybe I could write something out and just say, hey guys, could you copy and paste this and just change the wording? Maybe that would be a good idea, because now they're so busy. Well, I'll brainstorm on it. My brain's mushy right now because I'm tired. That's a great idea, though. We have to do that.
You're good. Granny, I've got you up here as a guest. If they don't like it, they can leave.
I mean, I feel like these are solid. I don't know. Like, do we want to waste this away by saying like, oh, I respect you, well, you respect me, well, this is great? No, I want to hear about Sebastian. What, did you go on vacation? The answer is no. Do your parents own a private jet?
No.
No.
God,
Okay, now
no.
that's out the way.
Are there 5 CPS reports?
I don't know.
Are there 5 that you know about?
Once again, I don't know.
Bull crap.
Does your family own a crematorium?
You're going to tell me with all this stuff that he wouldn't know how many CPS reports there are? Really?
No.
Do you
What
know?
else?
Do you know the relative of Yada or Yada? Yala, what's her name? Anybody?
Her name
Oh,
is
yeah.
Yada.
Yada.
Katie's Aunt Yada. Can you tell us anything? Does she know Katie? Is she a close relative? Is she a real relative?
She may be a real relative, but I will tell you this. That woman doesn't know Katie. I couldn't tell you last time she saw Katie. And I will say this, because of the negative things that she has said, I hope she hears when I say this. She's not that important to Katie to give 2 flying shits about.
Fair enough. Now, Chris, your mother has recently been vocal, and I assume it is in protection of you. People keep making jokes like mama's boy and all that, but I'll be damned, we'd all do the same for our kids. But she is going at it. Is that really your mother's account on Facebook? Are you aware? Is that a real account?
My mother does have a Facebook account. Unless you show me what you're referring to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, there have been people out there that have made accounts saying they're me, and they're not.
We saw that in the backstage.
Oh, yeah. I have another one. Were you and Katie in Oregon in March?
See, again, trying to pretend that I was pretending to be Chris in the backstage. Do you guys realize, like, you're really, like, going way too far? Like, do you really understand that? Like, I'm a resident. What are you doing? Like, seriously, like, what the heck is wrong with you guys? And can we just talk about Chris's mom? I would not do that for my son. That's not what I would do at all. I wouldn't talk about my grandson's dad. I wouldn't say what, look. Let me show you really quick. Let's go over here really quick and just look at this for anybody that comes and flips through this. Whoops. Sorry. Let's go take a peekie. So these are the screenshots of what she had put up. Allegedly, this is Kathy Guy Bauer socks, right? That she wrote on the public Facebook groups that if you notice, they help and make sure that he gets away without answering the question. Like everybody helps, right? It's pretty clear to me that that's all they're there to do. They're not there for Sebastian at all, in my opinion, at all. And what did she say? Let's see. When he is on camera and grifting money, yes, he looks like he is. Once again, dog and pony show for profit. If you are implying that I am distracting from finding this child, you are very mistaken. The lies, misinformation, and self-profiting agendas are what needs to stop in order to apply all efforts to locating this child. For your information, I have extended more grace to Seth Rogers than you could possibly imagine. I have not attacked him. I have not put my personal interactions with him out in the public, nor will I do so. I will state my own opinions and make sure that lies and misinformation is addressed. Really? She wrote, congratulations on 40 plus years. That is a wonderful testament. Your marriage occurred between an 18-year-old woman and a 26-year-old man, not a 12-year-old girl and a 21-year-old man, as was the case with Katie and Seth and Katie. I'm quite sure you can see the difference. So, she said she cares about lies and misinformation. She calls Sebastian that kid, which is how come I really feel they've all made him out to be a monster and detached. That's not humanizing him. And I know law enforcement, they're paying attention to all of this. There's no way they're not. They have a $50,000 reward for Sebastian. Thank God. And she's been where for the last 9-10 months? I haven't heard her fix any of the rumors, the lies, the misinformation, nothing. Have you guys anywhere? And where's the profiting coming from? Illuminati's made a lot of money. That's very obvious. Queen Bee, she makes a decent amount on her channel. Truth has made a decent amount. So where's all the profiting? I mean, the money that came from the GoFundMe, give me a break. That's like nothing. That money will be gone very quickly if you're out every day, if you're not working. It doesn't, like, it's not $1 million. So who's making all this money 10 months in? And who's the one that asked about the GoFundMe to begin with? It was Chris. And law enforcement said it would make you guys look suspicious. Allegedly, that makes sense to me. I can see that, of course. But you're going to tell me that this is normal to come out and defend your son? This is defending your son? Or does it seem to be detaching Sebastian from his own missing persons case and making it all about you? And making his father look like he's something that he's not? Why would they come out and do this right before right after Sebastian's birthday, right before Christmas? Why are they coming out making these comments, having Crabtree talk about Sebastian's personal writing? Why are they doing all this right now? It's really, really sad, in my opinion.
Nope.
Okay. Were you ever suing a company when you were a janitor?
Yeah.
First, never been a janitor, and
I didn't think so. Okay.
That gentleman's from Pennsylvania, and
Yes, he is.
They intentionally put that up there to make it appear as this Chris Proudfoot, damn well knowing they are two separate people.
I know. I'm just asking because you gotta get it out, right?
And here's another one, and you can, of course, as you always feel comfortable saying, I'm not answering. But is it true that you all rented out your house over the summer?
Oh my God.
We haven't sold our house. We haven't rented our house. We haven't moved. We still live in the same house.
Or the dogs. Let's clear that up. The dogs still there.
Yeah.
When
the
you
dogs
were
are still there.
when you were 7 years old, did you father a child?
Yeah, that's
no. I mean, that would be very interesting, but no.
Okay.
No.
So he just said that he's been there and they still live there. So that means that he drives by the sign that they have on the road right there, the only sign for Sebastian all the time, and we can't fix it because it's crooked. And that's really sad. That's really awful.
Has Dog the Bounty Hunter knocked down your door?
No.
No.
Dog the Bounty Hunter has yet to even try to contact me directly.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So I'll put that out there.
Directly. Okay.
Now, there's quite a few of them, so let me get out my notebook. But no, seriously. So, are you aware? Do you have a neighbor near you that is in contact with YouTubers that you're aware of?
I don't know who does what in my neighborhood.
Okay.
Other than the households that we've been able to talk to, and they've been extremely helpful in the very beginning of the investigation, and even until now, they have.
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh, really think that they're gonna tell you that they're? Oh my goodness! Wow. Everybody went quiet in the neighborhood for a reason. When Ellie did, like, they're not going to tell you anything. Everybody knows all the different people that get sent for information. Everybody knows the locals, the people from church. Everybody knows everything. And Chris, it's really sad that you have these people that you talk to, and you're not really even getting information on what's going on in your community. If you want to know what's going on and you want to know how you can help end the rumors and help with Sebastian, just go out in the community. Have some of these people go out carrying a tote bag that has Sebastian on it, or wearing a sweatshirt, or putting magnets on their car. And you'll hear what the community has to say. People will come up and ask about him. Did they find him yet? Oh, I heard this, or oh, that, or oh, this one used to work with this one. It's really not hard, which is why a lot of us got suspicious, because the way that people are acting is weird. It has been very odd. There's a lot of things that it doesn't take a high IQ to figure out after a month could actually be beneficial, let alone almost a year. And Becca, I'm not honestly sure that he even like really goes. I don't think they go regularly. Like, I think if anything, maybe Katie would go, trying to socialize Sebastian possibly. I'm not sure. But it doesn't seem like they went regularly to one place. And it doesn't seem like Chris was around hardly at all. Like, that's a whole nother thing. He wasn't really active in Sebastian's daily life. He was always off working, right? These contract jobs. So I think it's kind of odd. Like, if he was always working and Katie would go visit him when Sebastian was at sets and stuff, how come he was such a big disciplinarian with Sebastian? How could he even be that close to Sebastian? You know? I don't know. But the whole thing is just, it's just very strange to me. Like it's not really that hard to realize what's happening. Like if you really want everybody to be helping and stuff like that, you can turn it around very easily. But not if you're going to continue to break bread with people that all the locals know are really bad news. And I'm not calling out specifics, but if there's people that know of people that are really bad news, they're not going to want anything to do with people that are bad news. Well, that's what he said, right, Becca? He said, hi, Sylvester. He said that that's how they did it. Kind of like how when he went on Queen Bee's panel and he said that, he used to pay, for the spot ahead of time, because it was cheaper. And I know a lot of people that do that. But then for some reason, it was so important that he got there and picked it up. Two things, in my opinion, could have happened with that, though. One, it could have been law enforcement. They might have made him go there so the FBI could search the RV or the fifth wheel, because he gets very upset, right, if you don't say fifth wheel. So that could have been it as well. They might have told him he had to go so they could search it. Just another possibility. I don't know, Becca. There's been a lot of rumors about it. That's the problem. And it's really interesting when you realize that a lot of these different things have come from just certain places. And you could really go back and find when they started to circulate. And it doesn't help with Sebastian whatsoever. None of this does. And I'm not Team Seth or Team anything. I don't know Seth from a hole in the wall. But at the end of the day, I feel pretty confident that he didn't do anything to Sebastian because of his behavior. Because of his behavior, because of the way that everything has been on the internet, the way he comes across to me doesn't seem really that strange. He seems like he'll do anything he can to get attention for Sebastian. And wouldn't we all, Doesn't mean that you have to like somebody's personality. I don't know. Like, how do we judge anybody that we don't personally know? I feel like the reason that I'm being so judgmental recently of the whole, Proudfoot Power Sock side is because of the behaviors of the people that they have decided to go to. These are the creators that they go to, that they are, talking to, that they're searching with, taking photos with SF and all of them in September. And they're in Crabtree, going to places that have been thoroughly searched. Thoroughly searched. I mean, there was hundreds of people. Hundreds and hundreds. You had state troopers. You had all kinds of law enforcement. You even had the National Guard at one point. And dive teams and dogs and helicopters and all kinds of technology and drones. And, so I would never have bothered to put my efforts into even, honestly, it's always been, you never know, right? You never know. But I would not have been paying attention and going back and listening and finding the interviews I didn't see had they not acted as wackadoo as I saw them act in September, especially when they were going to court against Bullhorn Betty. I'm not saying I like a lot of the stuff she's done either. I don't watch a lot of people. I didn't watch a lot of Betty's content. I watch things that I'm going to learn something about that I'm interested in. I don't know her. She could be a great person. Who knows? I don't know. But the hypocrisy, when you step back and realize that these are people that are not YouTubers, okay? They're not subscribers. They're not true crime enthusiasts. They're not part of communities. They don't know anybody. They only met people because their son ran away, supposedly, allegedly, right? In their opinion. And when you really put that into the perspective, It is not normal in any way, shape, or form. It is really sad, Sylvester. I do. My heart breaks for Seth and his family. I can't imagine. Like, I would not even. Trying to think of how to word it. Like, there's just no words, honestly, for what they're all going through, not knowing where Sebastian is, and to have people blackmail. And I mean, I just can't even imagine all of this nonsense. It's really sad. It's really sad. And at the end of the day, I just think that people are getting themselves into situations that they have no idea that they've gotten themselves into. You know, people that just really do want extra money, or they do want to feel like they have friends, you know, they want to be a part of something. Whatever it is that's been going on, I don't think people understand. Like, you might have been able to do a lot of stuff for a long time on YouTube, on Periscope back in the day, on all these different places, and get away with being anonymous and trolling and cloning and making things up. This is not that case. The FBI is a $50,000 reward. They wouldn't do that. You know, they wouldn't. This is much bigger, in my opinion. And I think that people are going to end up being made into, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know, when they try to pass laws and things like that, and they're going to be using a lot of this, I feel like, to show why these things can't be allowed, why they can't allow certain, you know, coverage of things. And people are so used to freedom of speech and stuff. I don't think that's going to happen with this. I think that this went into a way different category, and law enforcement and the FBI and all of the different agencies or their resources that have been assisting, they've talked about it from the beginning. You know, law enforcement has said from the beginning that this became a money-making circus. And eventually everything's going to come out. The truth's going to come out. It's just heartbreaking, because how many people's lives are going to be ripped apart? How many people are going to end up, you know, in a total mess because they were sitting there, you know, behind the scenes, emailing and trolling and chatting and, you know, doing all this wackadoo stuff? I don't know. I think they are, for a fact, definitely on the way to finishing some of that. And I know they do already have a lot of anti-bullying and cyberbullying. I mean, the terms of service on YouTube is wild. So that was one of the biggest things to me that made me realize, like, this case has got to be bigger than a lot of people are realizing. Or YouTube would start cracking down on a lot of it, because it is against YouTube's terms, a lot of what the creators have done. It's like completely against the policies of YouTube. You know, like I've always said, I'm not against people that want to do entertainment. I'm not against people that manufacture content. I'm not even against the whole faking drama and faking problems with each other, as long as you're not hurting other people. But everybody has to be in on it. You know, you can't think it's okay to go out of your way and bring people into stuff that they have nothing to do with, and they're not okay with, they're not agreeing to. And if it's misleading people when there's a real life child missing, just feels really wrong. It just doesn't feel right. Oh, I know it's really bad, Becca. I know, like, it's been like this forever, you know? I just didn't honestly think it would ever get into something like this. Like, this just seems, I don't know. the way that Chris and Katie have been involved the way they have is just strange. Like they like, I mean, everybody that I've talked to about it, that I've asked that has, you know, that's not into YouTube, that could care less about YouTube, they've all said like they have made themselves look really, really suspicious because they go on these channels. Like you want to find out about Sebastian and you find yourself on a panel with a woman that was just searching for Sebastian the M word, talking about, you know, adult toys and stuff. And like, to the average person, that's just, you know, something's not right here. Now they want to keep it out of the news. And at first I thought that it was the other way around. I thought it was Seth that was trying to stick with little channels because I was stuck in the algorithm on YouTube. So I wasn't seeing like a lot of the other content. Like when I saw the Fox News interview, I hadn't seen that. The one that Chris and Katie did, I was like really shocked with that one. I had only seen like the Nancy Grace one, the Hands one, and trying to think of what other one, but I had missed a bunch of stuff. And then I found out by listening, because when we were doing so much driving back and forth, moving, selling, trying to figure out where we were going to live, and you know, then we have our property that we go to. So we do a lot of driving, and I was listening to a lot of the shows. I realized that it was actually Chris and Katie that went to YouTube first. And they said they had a friend that was a creator that said to go to YouTube. And then Seth came to YouTube after that. And it was like, wow, this is wild. Like when you actually listen, every single thing that was being said is actually kind of the opposite. And I know that, you know, both sides are going to fluff things to a certain degree or whatever, right? But this is a little different in my opinion. Like I believe that Seth is really missing his son. Like he really wants to, like, I don't think he's made this up. Like, I don't think he knows where Sebastian is at all. And I think because of all the stuff that's been out and the things that have been said, it's hard, you know, for them to get into the news in a lot of ways, you know? But then again, with Dog the Bounty Hunter coming in, as much as people laugh and make fun of him and say stuff like that, he does come with a ton of resources, you know? He really does. And so maybe things are already, you know, they already have a lot of what they need and they're just trying to tie up loose ends. And, you know, that could be it too. You know, law enforcement, for all we know, they might be trying to keep it only certain news stations, only certain journalists. You know, because sometimes they do that during an active investigation. Sure, Becca, but I do think that he was here in September. I think he might have been here in September. Because I had somebody that was behind us, and I thought it was the strangest, most bizarre thing. But when I look back on it, and I was, you know, was looking at my dash thing, the video and stuff, I think it might have actually been Dog. I mean, my personal opinions is that Dog and all of them came in from law enforcement. I mean, I think it's really kind of odd that true crime channels act as if, you know, law enforcement doesn't use social media. They don't use content creators. They don't go undercover. I mean, yes, they do. We know they do. Of course they do. So, I mean, I wouldn't doubt if that's where this is all coming from. Now, do I think SF is? Absolutely not. There's something like with that, this whole little clique. I feel like they all just knew each other from doing crime or doing, you know, live streams or whatever it is that they were doing. And that's why they're all together, because they all knew each other. That's what I think. on this side of it. On Seth's side, I think Seth was truly, him and his family, the community. Like, you got to remember, like, there's people from the community that have been trying to help Seth. They've been organizing vigils. They've been out there, you know, getting Sebastian's name out. You know, people from Hendersonville, not just from where Seth lived, but from where Sebastian lived. So I think there's a lot of people that have been trying to, you know, help. But this one side, it's just kind of strange. I don't know. Yeah, and I'm not sure why, Becca, but I'm sure he has reasons. You know, probably something happened that, you know, was personal, that was taken the wrong way. But at the end of the day, you know, like a journalist, they don't know until everybody knows, right? What really happened to Sebastian. So you can't take a side. Kind of like with law enforcement, they're always going to bring in a fresh set of eyes to try to get, you know, more educated opinions on things. Just like Nick Brett, you know, Barris, like he might have, I don't know. I'm not quite sure, you know, and maybe he is still getting along with Seth. Maybe Seth is acting that way. Maybe he's trying to, you know, dish out a little of certain things too, to try to make sure, to see if they can get information. Who the heck knows? Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, people are still trying to say that that lights video is nothing. I don't think it's nothing. I really don't. I don't at all, to be honest. I also don't think that whole green hoodie situation is nothing either, because when you think about it, you have somebody that parks in a different parking lot, stands by somebody else's car for 2 minutes, talks to that person, goes in, uses a restroom, and leaves. Doesn't talk to anybody else, nothing. Like, yeah. I have a hard time believing that it's absolutely positively nothing. What I do think, though, is that, and I'm hoping that maybe, I don't know, Tony or somebody, you know, can talk about trying to be careful with how much, you know, content gets made of these distractions in these interviews. Because it's not necessarily a good thing if it is really diverting a lot of attention for law enforcement and stuff. It could be dragging things out longer. I'm not sure. Well, probably not, actually. Not now. I'm sure they pretty much have all of what they need. I don't believe for 1 second that they have no new leads and no new tips. I don't believe that at all. Not even a little bit. Well, you know what? I'm going to hop off, and I guess I'll finish this tomorrow, because what time is it? It's like 4. My husband will get up with the baby for me because he's home. So I texted him and asked him if he could, so I could get at least 5 hours of sleep, as long as my daughter doesn't come banging on the door. Get a little sleep. Yeah, you're right, Becca. I think there is a lot of reasons that they had to go quiet, and they were trying to do things in a certain manner. Because, you know, we have to realize, like, if Sebastian, right, could be alive, you're going to not want to risk him coming back safely. And God forbid he's not, you're not going to want to risk not being able to put whoever was behind it away forever, you know? And I think sometimes people forget that, which I was surprised with, because it's like, you guys are true crime creators, and you're supposed to understand, like, it takes time, you know, to do investigations. It takes time to do this stuff. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. Whole thing is very sad. I really tried to make sure that, like, I didn't say anything and with certain things, but tonight when I had, after people sending it to me and, you know, really thinking about all of it, I was like, this is just ridiculous. Like, it doesn't matter if I, you know, never see these people, talk to these people, or mention these people. Like, it's not going to matter. They're still going to lie on me. And I don't really care about lying on me, but what I care about is, like, why would you? Like, there's literally no reason for you to have an entire panel pretend that you see my face and claim that I'm trying to be Chris Proudfoot. Like, there's something really, really wrong with that, in my opinion, with all of the stuff that we're talking about when it comes to Sebastian. And I've seen some, you know, such weird stuff from the beginning. I know I haven't even seen hardly anything compared to what other people have. You know, I know there's this one person, I know for a fact that they have a lot that they've been trying to do, that they've, you know, seen way more. But, it's just, none of this is going to help with Sebastian. And that's what doesn't make sense. None of it. And the only way it makes sense is if you already know what happened to him. And if you had nothing to do with it, you're just creating a story out of it. Or you do know what happened and you're just trying to deflect and whatever. I have no idea, but it's heartbreaking, whatever it is. Absolutely heartbreaking. All right, well, I just put all my stuff away in my office, so I'm going to go in and get some sleep. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope I made some of you laugh a little bit. You know, I figured since I had people texting me and they're like, hey, they're like, don't you know you're a psycho who's trying to get on a panel? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a psycho. All right, let me come on and pretend to be a little psycho. I don't know if I was good at it because obviously I'm always sleep deprived. That's what happens when you have kids, but when you have special needs children, you're usually sleep deprived. You're usually a little scatterbrained, and trying to talk bad about moms like me and caregivers like me with all we have on our shoulders is really disgusting and atrocious. And there's not hardly anyone that would be okay with that. So keep on talking. You're doing a world of good by showing the world who you really are. And that's sad. So take care, Becca. Take care, everyone. You know, keep spreading Sebastian just in case, because he, you know, who knows? He could be anywhere, and maybe, just maybe, somebody is finally going to, you know, be the one person that helps law enforcement find him, or we see somebody with handcuffs or whatever soon, because this is really awful. I mean, I can't believe that it's the holidays and this is going on, and there's no way people can justify it by saying this is all content just to keep his name out there. I could have believed that, and I could have thought that, because I have heard that. That was one of the things somebody local was saying. Oh, it's the mom and dad and stepdad. They're just doing what they need to do to keep Sebastian out there. I would have believed that, except for how they behaved with me, how they behaved with other people. Every single person that's not profiting off of Sebastian, that's not trying to exploit him, you wouldn't care about them to go after them or try to mock them or belittle them or whatever it is that happens. You know, you just wouldn't. It just doesn't make sense. So Now I don't believe that at all. I don't think that people are just doing this to keep Sebastian's name out there at all. I think that was an afterthought because they figured, oh, you know what? People might like that better. That sounds better. Very weird. But yeah, take care, everybody. I hope that you have a great night, and I'll talk to y'all soon.